Sactown Sports. Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings' 3-game winning streak came to an end last night when the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Kings 133-124. For more on last night's game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown on SactownSports.com. Kings are traveling today to start their 4-game road trip, which starts in Chicago against the Bulls. You can listen to tomorrow's Kings-Bulls game right here on Sactown Sports. Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Memphis Grizzlies guard Ja Morant has entered a counseling program in Florida. There is no timetable for his return. Ja Morant is currently being investigated by the NBA for brandishing a gun on his Instagram Live earlier this month. It is 11 o'clock, and it's time for Deuce and Mo.
Live from Sacramento.
It's Deuce and Mo
On Sactown Sports.
We are live. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday? Deuce, Mason, Morgan, Reagan, and our good buddy Chris Watkins joining us. It's crazy outside. Is it ever going to stop with this weather? I know I'm sounding like an old person going, hey, how about this weather outside? But, dude, it's been insane. Like, have we ever seen this much rain? The wind is going crazy.
It looks bad.
No.
Yeah, it is bad right now.
I hate this. I hate this so much. Like, I cannot stand the rain.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just depressing. Like, it brings my mood down. And like, I already don't want to go outside and do things, but when it's raining, I have the natural excuse of like, I'm not doing it. It's raining. And so it's just not happening. Mentally, I'm not going. Physically, I'm not.
Chris, you know what? You saying that because you're so right. Like it stops us from like wanting to do our hair, get ready, go places, whatever. But here's a perspective, you guys. Maybe the rain is a good way. Shut up, Deuce. Maybe the rain is a good way to like slow us all down from our everyday lives.
Yeah,
and like
slow us down and prevent us from being effective,
Oh.
to prevent us from doing anything to create chaos on our roadways. I can do a day of rain, 2 days of rain. I don't need I don't live in Seattle, right? I didn't plan on living in Seattle.
Yep.
But this world is changing and it's either raining
It's extreme.
25 days out of the month or it's 120. This is where we live now. This is just what it's at. It's windy outside. The power's probably going to go out at some point. Great. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I need some sun. I'm not even Mr. Sun guy either. It's not like I'm out in a tank top showing off my ripped muscles. My physique is unbelievable, but I just need a little. Just give me a little sun. Can I get 2 days of sun? Just 2 days, Chris.
Yeah. That's all I need. Yeah, at this point, I just want to see it. I haven't seen it in a while. And then the second I see it, to your point, Deuce, like, I'm done. Then I'm like, all right, like, it's way too hot. Like, where did the rain go? Like, can I get some shade around here? That's here I am complaining about California weather, but that's my real beef. It's like, it's either, like you said, it's an extreme. It's either freezing and raining and super windy outside, or it's 115 degrees and you're not stepping outside either.
And I realize I'm going to sound like an old man right now.
No, you already have, but please proceed.
Is that an old man thing? I think there are young people listening going, yeah, this kind of sucks. I hate the rain. Seriously.
Okay, what's your
As
thing?
a young person, you want to go outside, shoot some hoops, ride some bikes. When you're like a teenager?
Wait,
like 12,
Now you sound old. You sound
That's what I did as a kid.
You're in your mid-30s acting like
you're
you
right.
have time to go shoot some hoops outside if it wasn't rainy and windy.
Saying that. I'm saying as a kid, that's what you would do. You'd be outside.
No, it's called video games.
You're right. I totally forgot. Kids don't go outside when the weather's nice. They're just on their phones and they're playing video games all the time, playing Warzone, killing me in Warzone, and I'm getting pissed at a 13-year-old. But I've had to clean out my gutters like twice. I was outside.
Now you sound
cleaning out my gutters. This is when you know you're getting old.
Yeah.
Wait,
No, no.
Do you get on a ladder in the rain?
No, yes, I get on a ladder. What do you mean?
Is that how you're supposed to do things?
Get on a ladder to clean out gutters? Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way. I mean, I don't know what else a
ladder in the rain.
Oh, the rain? I mean, it's fine.
It just sounds like you shouldn't do that.
Wow.
Using a ladder in the rain.
Yeah.
Check your ladder, stabilize your ladder, wear appropriate clothing.
That's kind of what you do.
Okay.
No matter what. If it's nice outside, whatever.
You're such a man.
I'm a dad. Play the Home Depot music, on TikTok.
I love that music.
Me too. It's very catchy. Yeah, we have a lot to get to on the show today. Of course, yeah, it's gross outside, but we have a lot to break down with the Sacramento Kings last night, losing at home to the Milwaukee Bucks. So we got Chris Watkins hanging out with us this hour. Coming up at noon, Frankie Cartoscelli.
Splitting you guys up today.
Yes.
That's all good.
And then Taz Melas from No Dunks Inc. is going to be in the building. Get kind of the national perspective on what's happening around the NBA universe. Also, the Sacramento Kings, obviously. So there's a lot. You got NFL free agency. We're going to have truth or trash. We're going to have some fun today. So if you're in your office right now, you're welcome.
Yeah, because it's raining outside
Yeah.
and you have nothing better to do.
Yes, exactly. Let's start with last night. Chris, I know I heard you talking about it, but you know, it's one of those games that you don't feel like terrible about because I wanted to see how the Kings were going to handle taking punches last night against a great team. We're talking about a championship caliber team in the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis played, and I'm glad they saw that test. Giannis did his thing, 46 points. He was unbelievable. But overall, I'm like, I liked how the Kings played. I know the defense was not great down the stretch. I'm aware of that. But they went toe-to-toe with probably the best team in the NBA.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, I really don't feel much of any negative feelings after last night. I mean, you mentioned, they played pretty much a full strength Bucks teams. They didn't have Joe Ingles last night, but I don't really know if that's adding a whole nother layer to their team. But yeah, they got the full Giannis experience too. I mean, he dropped 46. They got a real legitimate heavyweight punch from a really good team. You mentioned they're a championship team. Not only have they won championships, but they've been in the playoffs multiple years. They've won series. They've lost series. This is a team that is almost the complete opposite of what we hear from this Kings team of obviously the Kings don't have a lot of that quote unquote experience. This is a team that they played last night full of experience. And, it yesterday was just a learning lesson of, this is why people say you have to play for 48 minutes long, because they played, in my opinion, 45 incredibly great minutes of real legitimate playoff intensity. And then the last 3 minutes just kind of got away from them. And it was really just compounding mistakes. And it snowballed so quick that before you even knew it, it went from, oh, the Kings really might pull this out to, oh yeah, this game is it's over.
And Morgan, we talk so much about, and we've heard the noise from some people going, yeah, the Kings seemingly are taking on a lot of shorthanded teams lately, right? And they're taking advantage of that. The Kings have been healthy. What I really liked about last night, besides, as Chris mentioned, Joe Ingles and Wes Matthews, both teams had their guys.
Yep.
And I think the Bucks probably walked away going, damn, these Kings play hard.
Yeah, well, they play hard and they'll get into you and not back down. But that, I think before the game when we knew Giannis was questionable, we were all kind of like, yeah, it could be a good way to get a W, but we want to see it. We want to see the test. We want to see the competition. We're there because now we have that cushion of the Kings are in the playoffs this season, no matter what, right? And so knowing that
They actually haven't clinched yet.
they
just to be
haven't,
clear.
yeah, actually, no, good point.
They have not clinched the playoffs.
Okay, no, it's a good, it's honestly kind of a good point. You just never know. And I hate saying things out loud that aren't true. But you do feel confident and you want to be able to keep getting better even before the postseason. That's what Mike Brown wants for his squad. Why do you think you see these guys develop and get better each and every game? And they truly step up to every test in front of them, whether it's a good team lacking some of their star players or it's a bad team and they got to stick it to them. And that's why this next road trip is really important, but I know we'll get to that later.
I think the other thing I really liked last night, you're taking on a good Bucks defense. Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, it seems like every year. Brook Lopez, I mean, I feel like he might be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year this year. He's getting a lot of love right now. And you know what Drew Holiday can do. It's a team, as Chris mentioned too, they've been playing together for a long time. They're locked in. They're in sync. This Kings offense still put buckets on them. They really, I mean, I loved how much pace they were playing with. The ball was moving around. They weren't settling. They did a little bit, but the Bucks take things away from you, right? They want to take away the mid-range.
Everything.
They're good. I mean, we know how they are at protecting the paint. They allow some threes. This Kings team knocked down some threes, but it wasn't like they were just totally settling. They did have some threes they settled for, but overall, the Kings offense was clicking.
Yeah, you mentioned how they definitely impacted the paint for sure. Brook Lopez being in there, you saw a couple times where guys were just like, I'm not trying to take this body contact, and they kind of were fading out. They definitely made the Kings kind of rely a lot more on their threes. I think they took 51 threes last night, which is pretty, they say that they want to take 40.
That's almost half their shots. And Fox had 12 attempts.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was what really stuck out to me was De'Aaron, if anybody was settling. It looked like he was definitely comfortable taking that 3-point shot. He hit 5 of them, but I think if you're an opposing team and you make De'Aaron Fox take 12 threes, that feels like a win for them. But it was good to see, to Morgan's earlier point, it was good to see Giannis play, because I think a big thing, especially mentally in these kind of games, is leaving zero doubt. Like, you don't want to, if the Kings were to have competed last night and barely lost, which they kind of did without Giannis in there, it would have been, oh, well, how does this go with him in? Or even if they did win, it would have been, okay, yeah, we beat the Bucks. Did we beat them at really their best? At least now that's what it looks like when that team is at full strength. They're fully humming. You get, like I mentioned, a 46-point Giannis performance. It's not going to get much more difficult than that. Like, dude, if you can survive that, you're chilling.
It was such a great game, too. Just from a basketball perspective, that was a fun game to watch.
And really quick, I want to just go back to what you were saying about the defense of the Bucks and how they were altering shots. Before this game, the Bucks were holding opponents to 45% shooting from the field, second lowest in the NBA, 34.5% from three, third lowest, and 51.1% on 2-point attempts, which is the lowest in the league. And so it doesn't matter if they're contesting shots, their long arms are disrupting shots, disrupting offenses. So then you're not making the best move, the best play that you can make. They do such a great job capitalizing on their length. But I mean, they have some freaks of nature in the middle of the key that why would you want you can't go up in them. I know when they were taking on Rudy Gobert, it's like go into his chest. He's going to go back. You can create some of that space. But with the athleticism of Giannis and even Brook Lopez, his ability to stretch the floor offensively, but then be able to move pretty well for such a big guy, it's just a tough matchup.
I saw Budenholzer after the game when he was talking about it. He's like, this was like a 15-round boxing match. You just saw it was physical, guys going back and forth. You had Sabonis and Lopez going on it. By the way, Sabonis had a monster night going up against again, defensive player of the year, Brook Lopez.
Yes.
And Sabonis got his. The most shocking stat that we talked about, by the way, Sabonis took 0 free throws. That's a joke. That's a joke. We got to talk more about this game coming up. Also, we got to get into the Trey Lyles, Brook Lopez skirmish.
Ooh.
Very interesting. It's always fun how fans talk about this from both sides. When really, it wasn't Lyles. It wasn't Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Nice Guy Giannis who started everything. We can talk about it next. It's Deuce and Mo. We're back in 60 seconds on the radio side, and we're always live. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 and at SactownSports.com. Carlin is just
he's out
passed out on my lap right now. Just done. I picked him up and he's out.
Yeah.
And then you got Bojack just trying to get in the mix.
I saw
right now.
Bojack just like walk in the middle of the door just like flung open.
Yeah. They
go
see a
little curly tail. Yeah.
By the way, if you're in the YouTube chat, appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this stormy day. Look at here's Bojack,
I
everybody.
Go get my dog now. Hold on.
Oh,
yeah.
Dog party.
Make sure if you're here, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get that to 100. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel too. Shout out Bojack. What's up, Bo? How you doing, man?
Bojack looks like a little fox.
Dap me up? All right, cool.
Dap, Deuce, dip. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Look at Bo. Look at Bo. He's so happy.
He hates being held on the podcast though.
But I feel like is he liking it right now?
He's okay. He's kind of like, okay, when is this gonna end? Look at that guy.
Look at the dog party during the break.
Ain't no
That might
party
need to be
like
the
a dog
11:40. Oh, we're not home all the time.
Yeah.
11:40 dog.
Dog hour. Wait, what's his name?
This is Ruby.
Hi. Oh,
What's
he or
up?
she?
She.
Hi, Ruby.
Like, I love how people ask that like it matters for
And-
them.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. We are live hanging out with Chris Watkins, who's in the second week of his brand new live and local show. It airs from 10 to 11 right here on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com. Chris is doing an awesome job with that. And also, if you watch us on YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140, where we stay live during the breaks, you would have seen the dogs making an appearance. Bojack made an appearance. Ruby's in the building.
Oh,
So-
I just love dogs. So
The
good.
best.
Carlin's
Oh, look
trying to
who's
get
up.
adjusted. Oh, Carlin, are you? Oh, you sleepy boy. Oh, hi, I'm a sleepy Carlin. Hey, what's
Oh,
up?
and he snorts.
He snort. Can you snort? No, you're being a little shy right now. Yeah, Carlin's the best.
So good.
All right. Well, we've been talking
We're
about
weird.
last night's Kings Bucks game where the Bucks won 133 to 124. The Kings have not scored fewer than 122 points since the All-Star break, and they just put up a ton on the Suns, 124 on the Bucks, but it falls short. The Kings defense down the stretch wasn't great. The Bucks locked into. The Bucks were unbelievable to see them get going, but it was kind of late in the game that people are talking about today, where Trey Lyles and Brook Lopez got into it. I don't know if there's going to be a suspension, but there's definitely an issue. But it all started with Giannis. Can we all acknowledge that today? I saw the angle from Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 put it out. Giannis, for whatever reason, dribbling out the ball, comes out of his way, veering right to dribble right in front of Trey Lyles. Lyles fouls him because he's irritated. Giannis kind of slyly holds his arm for a second, and Lyles pushes him. And then Lopez does what a great teammate does. Stand up for your guy. You don't touch my guy like that. They go face to face. Lyles with the push. Looks like he grabbed his throat. It got a little crazy there for a second. What do you guys think of that late game skirmish?
Go, Chris.
It's good to see. It was good to see. I mean,
Yeah, you liked it,
I
huh?
can't lie.
Hell yeah.
I did like it. I know. I was watching the post game, and I saw Morgan and Matt always had to like temper their, we're not condoning this. I'm not saying I condone this, but this is good. And
I hate that broadcasters even have to say that. It's like, no, this game is competitive. Anyone who played basketball knows it gets physical sometimes, and you're gonna push somebody. You're gonna stand up for your teammate. That's what it's about.
Can I just say, I never said I don't condone this. And Matt said it once.
Okay.
I heard Katie say it on the
Yeah.
broadcast once. But then someone yelled at me today because they thought I was Katie. And so they're like, you say you don't condone this, but you like it. And I was like, one, I never said that. I just said I liked it. Okay. So let's be real.
The other funny to add to that, Henry Turner on the radio broadcast was like, back in my day, we'd have thrown punches. I'm like, no, it's good. It's good that they didn't like try to knock each other out. Okay,
God, Henry.
we don't need to like
what
have
we
a.
got was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
fine. No, I'm with you, Chris. I kind of liked it from both sides. Like,
Yeah.
I think so many times this stuff happens and we try to criticize, like, hey, I can't believe Giannis did that. That's a joke. Lyles should have done that. It's like, you know what? It's kind of petty stuff. Giannis was just trolling a little bit. They had been playing physical the entire game. I'm sure there was some jaw jacking between the two throughout. Giannis decided to mess with him. Lyles didn't like it, pushed back, and Lopez stood up for his guy. I'm cool with that. I would much rather do that than have Lyles just kind of walk away. Go, yeah, it's fine. Do
Yeah.
whatever you want, Giannis.
I think my favorite part about it is that, I mean, Chris and I, wait, you have another animal?
It's a cat.
Cat.
Oh
Yeah,
my
this-
God. So
This is Hallie. She's named definitely after Tyrese Halliburton. So
Oh, hi, Hallie. I'm so sorry.
I take that.
No.
I kick that. I would kick that
Nope.
stupid cat
Nope.
to Indiana
So again,
and
no.
get me a cat named Sabonis.
No. Okay, he's
Tabby?
finding his
Sabby.
inner fighter right
It's
now.
not a tabby cat. It's a sabby cat.
Okay.
Right? Is that?
Okay. Anyway, Chris, being a Trey Bay, I mean, we
Yes,
obviously
as we are.
we love when we get to see Trey Lyles show so much emotion. We've seen it after like a dunk or a big play, but seeing him have that fire, have that competitiveness about him, you already know it's there, but when you see it with your own eyes, show on his body language, show in a heated moment, I think that was one of my favorite things about it, because it showed the passion that one another have for each other on this team.
Yeah, no, and it feels like every team needs that guy that is like ready to go. And I don't know if Trey is that guy necessarily, but it's good to know that, again, like these guys aren't like, they're not going to get punked. They're not just going to sit there and let you, treat them like they're any other team. Like these guys really want you to know, like, you have to respect the fact that we just gave you 45 minutes of hell. And yeah, you guys might have pulled it out in the end, but you're going to respect us, and you're not just going to talk about us and move on to the next game. And that's kind of what Mike Brown said after the game as well, is like, we're not taking this. Like,
let's hear, let's play it, because that fired me up, Chris. Let's hear Mike Brown after the game.
100%. I don't know what happened, but so we ain't taking no from nobody.
Woo!
Trust me on that. And they all gonna have each other's back in there. That don't mean we gonna go out there and start something. We're not. But we're gonna stand up for ourselves and each other.
So I had zero issue with what Mike Brown just said. I also have zero issue with what Trey Lyles did. Zero issue with what Brook Lopez did. That's it.
Yeah.
If anyone,
it's
it's like
what
Giannis was trolling. That's it. And I'm not even that mad at it. It's basketball. Be petty. You just dropped 46 points. Do what you want. I just love that happened last night. It's cool for the game. I love that type of emotion and fire. These are two teams going at it. And I think maybe the Bucks walked away respecting Sacramento for how they fought, not only in the game, but get a little chippy late. Add a little emotion.
And it didn't feel fluky, Chris. That was the other thing I liked about it. It just felt like, oh, this is real. They have guys that are willing to throw down if they're getting punked at the end. Like, not just because they're losing on the basketball floor. It was like, oh no, this guy's punking me, he's trolling me, whatever he's doing, and I'm not going to take it. I just think, I think too, if we looked at another team and if they did this to us, like I told Deuce, I was like, yeah, honestly, I'd be like, what the hell is that guy thinking? And I'm so glad, Sabonis stood up for his teammate and all these things. Sure, it's part of our fandom that is also going to have our biases when talking about this. But at the same time, when you look at the amount of Sacramento Kings teams that we haven't had that have this about them, that's why it's so much more special.
That's where I know I'd be a good judge, because like I looked at both sides fairly, and it wouldn't, even if you change up the roles a little bit, I would have felt the same way. I'd be like, yeah, I'm cool with everything.
Except Giannis, you're going to jail.
No, Giannis, we're not. Giannis, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. I see what you're doing, but let's not. The funniest thing with Giannis is he veered right, and then he left the scene of the crime, okay?
He did, yeah. He was nowhere to be seen in that skirmish. I don't know if you saw Mike Brown's poor little self was like being tumbled by the entire pile. I was like,
Sabonis got in the middle of that too.
I know, and I'm like, your hand, my guy, please. Like,
in his pretty face. I was like, you already get hit in the face enough, and his face was right in between the two. And I'm like, well, if he takes a blow to the face, though, it's like he's definitely a robot. It's metal.
Yeah, he took 3, I think, last night in the first quarter.
Ooh.
no fouls though.
Yeah, no fouls at all. Do you think we'll see any suspensions?
I hope not. You do.
I think Lyles gets a game.
Yeah, I think Lyles gets a game, maybe 2, but
No.
There was definitely
how many games did Dylan Brooks get for the hitting in the balls?
Was it 2? Look it up. As you look it up really quick too, Chris, I wanted to say the disrespect Bill Kennedy had on Trey Lyles, number 41 in Lopez.
Did it
ejected.
twice to him. Yeah.
Okay, just to be clear, Dylan Brooks got a 1-game suspension for intentionally hitting Donovan Mitchell downstairs in his little Donovan Mitchells. And I'm sorry, it better not be more than 2 games.
Yeah. Knowing that, it definitely shouldn't be more than 2 games. I definitely think he'll get something though. I mean, he was. I don't want to say he was the instigator, but he was definitely the first one to push, and I think he also got hands around the throat. So you probably are going to get something for that.
I also love Brooke Lopez. The guy's just a giant man, and he's evolved his game.
So good.
How scary is he when he gets mad, though?
Oh, I mean, anytime in that game, it's scary when he gets mad. Like, he just sees red and he goes, which there's something like I appreciate about it because it's like he's not a fake tough guy, but at the same time, like, get off my dude.
All right, coming up next, we can talk more about this game. We also have to sprinkle in, I don't know if Chris has participated in this before.
What?
Truth or trash?
Ooh.
Oh, we'll be ready to go. We'll do that coming up next. It's Deuce and Mo alongside Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com. It was a Sabonis sandwich, yeah. I feel like Robin Lopez was rooting for Lyles. That's funny. Yeah, I love the intensity. Oh, there's Carlin. You might be able to hear him snoring into the mic. Hold on.
Sure it is.
Yeah, just he's like. So ridiculous, dude.
So dumb.
Yeah, I would say for me, if Commissioner Deuce Mason in charge,
Oh, here we go.
we throw out a couple of fines and we keep it moving. No one got hurt. Let's go.
Late in the season, things got chippy.
Well, yeah.
It's already not fair, right, Chris?
Yeah, no, it's sorry. I just got distracted. The Giants are trading for Darren Waller. Sorry.
What?
Yeah.
Kelsey Plum must be devastated.
I know.
Oh my God, that is devastating. That's terrible.
Why would the
Or she's trying to go to
No,
the
she-
Liberty.
no.
Not this season.
No, maybe her and she's having second thoughts about Darren, and she'll be
She's
ready
like,
for
she
a
saw
little.
Deuce was wearing the shirt the
Deuce
other day.
Mason.
She was like,
Wow.
Okay, so heads up, guys. We need to keep it like this for truth or trash so that you'll be able to hear the station.
Gotcha.
Wait, what?
So, like, if I put it like this,
Yeah.
then that looks like bad
But why can't we just do what we were doing last segment? Like just
because I took mine out.
okay. Do we have to hear the station?
No, just
Yeah, I don't
but
think-
you'll have to hear it for the
Oh, we don't have. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
for the
if we don't have to
update
hear
and
it.
the rejoiner.
I see. Yeah, but once we start the show again, we'll just
Yeah.
do two screens. Yeah. Dude, what the hell? Why would the Raiders trade Darren Waller?
You're asking. I don't know.
Is there like a cap thing that I don't know about? I'm not Mr. Cap Guru here, but
Where's Emil?
what?
I love that you're acting like so shocked.
I mean, he's really good.
I get it, but there's got to be something.
He just signed Jimmy G too. You would think he needs all the
Yeah.
weapons he can get.
Yeah, they're probably just gonna need to run the ball.
Dude, check out this picture real fast from the skirmish. This is what I'm talking about with Giannis, man. Watch this.
Oh my God.
Where's Giannis? Scrum happening. Chaos. Giannis.
I didn't do anything.
What do you mean? I didn't do anything.
They didn't land on fans, right? Just the scores.
No, they
table.
did. Mike Brown did. Mike Brown like fell onto a fan in that first row. You can see him like.
Yep.
I would say
Wow.
Lyles gets a game. I don't know
Okay.
that Lopez gets one. Because like Lyles not only pushed Giannis, then he pushed Lopez and they got into it. He probably gets a game. That sucks.
Yeah.
Man. It's getting windy. Darren Waller, guys.
Sucks, man.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it is so windy. Oh my God, if the internet goes out, I'm gonna. Chris.
I don't know what y'all are gonna do. Don't call me.
Over under,
Yeah.
settle down. Lyle should get multiple games for bad behavior. Stop it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got. Oh, what?
No, I was just gonna say hit the thumbs up, people. We got 200 plus people. We should be over 100 thumbs up. Let's get it going.
I got an email today with the subject line that says "ugly dumb bitch" because I
Free exam.
because I guess they don't like me talking about the Bucks. It was a Wisconsin fan.
Oh,
That could have been from me too, sending you an email. To be honest,
It was actually signed Deuce Mason. I just thought it was someone else.
oh my goodness. Let's see. What's the trade? I need to know more of the trade. I just don't know. Giants are trading a third-round pick for Darren Waller. Oh, that's so. Imagine being a Las Vegas Raiders fan. You must be just thrilled. It's funny though. Mark Davis actually owns the Aces.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings' 3-game winning streak came to an end last night when the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Kings 133-124. For more on last night's game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown on SactownSports.com. Kings are traveling today to start their 4-game road trip, which starts in Chicago against the Bulls. You can listen to tomorrow's Kings-Bulls game right here on Sactown Sports. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting right now that the New York Giants are trading for Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round draft pick. And now it's time for more Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Oh yeah, Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan alongside Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports 1140, SactownSports.com. Following the chaos in the NFL today. My goodness. Darren Waller just got traded. Chris just had it in the update. We'll probably have the story on SactownSports.com in a bit, but Darren Waller's been traded by the Raiders to the New York Giants in exchange for a third-round pick. So Daniel Jones, who they just re-signed to, has a big-time weapon. Man, that's surprising.
It is. I mean, it's surprising for how much I actually, have been even paying attention to NFL.
Yeah.
But it is surprising too because you get this new quarterback in Jimmy G, like you were just saying at the break, that needs weapons. So you take away one of those weapons. I just think that they're gonna have to just work their running game.
Well, what's Devontae Adams thinking right now? Devontae's like, what the hell? Yeah, Chris, what was your reaction seeing Darren Waller get moved, man?
yeah, I was definitely shocked. And then now, to see it's for a third-round pick, 100th pick in the draft. I mean, Waller missed a lot of time last year. I don't know. I really like Darren Waller. I think he would have been a great weapon for Jimmy G, a nice little safety blanket. But I guess the Raiders have other plans. I'm seeing.
Yeah, and he's not exactly a young man either, but at the same time, it's like, oops. Go ahead. It cut out for a second, Chris. I don't know can you hear me?
No, I was just seeing. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm seeing Rappaport saying that they were thinking about moving Darren Waller last year in the Devontae Adams deal. So I guess that they've been trying to move him for a while now. But again, like I just think with Jimmy G coming in, I feel like you would want as many weapons as possible for him.
And let's be honest, we're all really thinking about Kelsey Plum today, right? And we're thinking about their relationship. They just got married, and
probably on their honeymoon.
It's not too late to kind of what's it called when your first 30 days of marriage?
Annulment.
Yeah, it's not too late to do that.
Yeah, they still have time.
I think Kelsey,
if she saw you and your muscles.
No, if she just met me and talked to me.
Oh yeah.
We'd connect so hardcore on basketball.
Oh my God.
It'd be something special.
Yeah. What?
Why is that funny, dude?
Look at Darren Waller. Look at you, like big and pretty, and like.
Look, I'm not going to take shots at Darren Waller, especially because Kelsey is always going to have a place in her heart for him. But Deuce Mason's here.
Dude, you know what's so sad though, Chris, is that this is every guy. This is every guy with Kelsey Plum. Maybe because I hang out around way too many basketball people.
Yeah.
Every person, and no, not every guy. It's every man and women that I know that are in love with Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I have that same love for Asia Wilson. I think Asia is like just top beautiful. Also personality wise, like top of the charts. But I mean, yeah, Kelsey's one hell of a catch too, especially when you consider she is a baller. Yeah.
What, Morgan?
I
Go
have
ahead.
one last thing.
I can't wait. What other
One last
Kelsey
thing.
Plum do you have?
Well, you know how like players, like I know for so many people when they're a better player in the league. Like for example, Devin Booker wasn't even that good looking until like Kendall Jenner started dating him, whatever. But when they get better and better, they become better looking. We just mentioned two really good WNBA players, and I wonder if that also like puts them over the edge. Anyway.
Great. We'll save that for next segment.
Thank you.
We'll take a deep dive into that. I'm kidding. Can we get to some truth or trash topics?
Please.
I don't even know if we're going to play the intro. We don't need the intro. It's fine. Let's start with this. Football.
It's real and what's downright garbage. It's truth or trash
Truth or trash.
with Deuce and Mo.
I think there's one thing that I do not. This is my podcast, like post radio days have come through. Radio imaging is so funny to me. It's like we cannot start truth or trash until the voice guy tells you it's truth or truth or trash.
It's not needed, and I think we're all stuck in that
I know.
old way.
It's fine.
I love you, Chris Verlotta.
It's just funny. It's
Yes.
just like, oh wait. It's tossed to truth or trash. Truth or trash. When they tell you something's truth or trash. Truth or trash. Here's Deuce and Mo with Chris. All right. First up on truth or trash. What?
Go on.
The 49ers adding Javon Hargrave solidifies them as the best team in the NFC. Chris Watkins. Truth or trash?
I think I'm going to go truth. I was really thinking about this earlier yesterday when I was prepping for my show. And it's just like there's no answer for that defensive line. I mean, every single week they're going to have the advantage, and there's nothing you can do as an opposing offensive line. You can't double team anybody now. It's just going to be constant pressure the entire game.
Yeah, I'm just going with truth. Obviously, I'm so invested into the NBA right now, but when I look at what the Niners defense did last season, and then you just add more weapons and dominant weapons to get after an opponent's quarterback, yeah, it's going to be scary going up against this Niners defense.
The Niners got to the NFC Championship game last year and maybe gets to the Super Bowl if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt. You
Correct.
never know, right?
Correct.
Brock Purdy had to go back into the game with one arm.
Yeah.
And couldn't
God.
throw. That defense was already legit. And to Chris's point, yeah, I mean, Armstead, Bosa, and now you had the Gravedigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's nasty. That's a real nasty group. And so it's going to be interesting. The next one's Niners related too, guys. Truth or trash? The Niners signed Sam Darnold yesterday. He will start a game for the 49ers this year. Maybe even week 1.
Oh, my God. Okay. Well, Chris, I'm going to go first. I'm not going to go with the week 1 part, but I'm going to say truth to him actually getting a start this season, because if you look at track record of Kyle Shanahan and his quarterbacks, and whether it's the position that he puts them in or it's the position that the quarterbacks put themselves in, they get hurt and they go down the line. They go down the bench. And right now, you're not going to have Brock Purdy for a while. Trey Lance coming back from an injury. I'm going to say Sam Darnold finds a start. That's not a good thing.
It could be worse. It could be worse. What do you think? Do you think we see him as a starter at any point this year? Maybe even week 1?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything Morgan just said. I think, you look at Shanahan's track record, for whatever reason, it does seem like these guys end up going down the depth chart at the quarterback position. And Deuce, you're also completely right. It's not that bad of a fall to have. If Sam Darnold is your second or third QB, it's not great. For sure, you're not going to get some elite level starting quarterback play, but you'll get good enough, and especially just the history of how quarterbacks have played under Shanahan, you have to assume that, he just has to follow direction and he'll find his way to mediocrity at least.
It's also a guy that they have liked for a long time, right? There is some connection too. He knows Christian McCaffrey. He spent the last 2 years with the Carolina Panthers. And then Steve Wilkes, who is the defensive coordinator now with the San Francisco 49ers, was the interim head coach of the Panthers last year. So there's some corporate intel on Sam Darnold, and it's like he's 25 years old. I'm not acting like he's going to have some renaissance and it's all of a sudden he's going to live up to the hype.
It could be worse.
Being drafted number 3. He's your third string quarterback in all likelihood, but Purdy's not going to be ready week 1. In all likelihood, he's not going to be ready to go. You hope Trey Lance is ready, but I don't know. Maybe you get a little Trey Lance, Sam Darnold camp battle.
Yep.
That'd be insane.
That would be insane.
We got more truth or trash coming up. We'll take the break. We got a Kings related truth or trash too, including are the Kings Western Conference contenders. We'll do that coming up next. Deuce and Mo alongside Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
What if Chris Verlato was like, I was the one that made that imaging?
I mean,
my
if it
voice.
was, it's fine. It's not. I mean, it's a preference thing. It's just funny. I don't know.
Oh no, I'm definitely with you. I think
Yeah, I'm
all
down.
those things are so weird. And again, it's just because I don't get why radio is stuck in their ways for so long. Like it's just evolve.
But guess what? We're evolving with this video stream, and it's awesome. They appreciate you guys hanging out with us. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. What's up, Steven, Trevor? You guys be on your best behavior. I know over-unders dropping hot takes left and right. Smart to finally move Darren Waller after trying most of last year. That wasn't the hot take. Let's see if he removed it. Oh, Darren Waller was terrible last year. Waste of a roster spot,
Jesus.
to be honest.
Gosh.
He also
He's
said the
planning a
Raiders-
wedding.
Yeah. The Raiders made a smart move. They got a proven winner behind center. Things looking up in Las Vegas now.
Is that a troll?
My God.
Is that a troll?
Dude, this Aaron Rodgers stuff is interesting too. So did you guys see Diana Rossini, Morgan,
What?
from ESPN
His demands list?
put out a list, his wish list of free agents he would like them to target and acquire includes Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, Mercedes Lewis, and Odell Beckham Jr. Well, it's been reported today that the Jets are closing in on a deal with Alan Lazard and veteran Randall Cobb. So it sounds, and Trey Wingo's kind of reporting that he's going to the Jets. I'm tired of Rodgers.
And by the way, like Garrett Wilson was probably one of the best, if not the best rookie receiver last year. And so the fact that he's going to them, asking them for more receiving help is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, let's let the 39-year-old quarterback dictate
also.
everything we're doing.
The NFL is so stupid.
I mean, that happens LeBron
pretty
does the
dumb.
same thing in the NBA.
I know. I just
Hey.
feel like, you see it more commonly.
But at least
happen.
it's not like, Randall Cobb was pretty much out of the NFL, and now he's brought him, it'd be like if LeBron was still bringing around Tristan Thompson or something.
Thank you. Thank
J.R.
you.
Smith. It's like, these are my guys, okay?
It's like, no, they're like J.R. Smith is golfing in college right now. Like, let him
Right.
be, man. He
Yeah.
good. He good. Yeah, it's just, I feel like, there's so much power in football when it's like
Mhm.
someone can, and again, that happens in the NBA, but just not as often. And then there's people like Steph Curry who just don't abuse their power, right? And like,
Happy birthday, Steph.
happy birthday, Steph.
35.
I know, I could not believe that.
35 today. That threw me a little bit.
Yeah.
Why?
That's old
5 seconds.
for an NBA guy.
Okay.
Live and local.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Watch the show now on YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 or listen for free on the Sactown Sports app.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, alongside Chris Watkins, who you can hear daily from 10 to 11 on his brand new show, Chris and Co. on Sactown Sports 1140, SactownSports.com. We were just talking about Darren Waller getting traded. Josh Jacobs, the Raiders running back, his old teammate, says S is sad for real on Twitter. Devontae Adams has been going on social media too. These guys aren't happy.
Emotions coming out.
Yep.
Coming out.
I have some more truth or trash topics for you guys.
Let's do it.
The next one, the Kings are Western Conference contenders, meaning they can come out of the Western Conference. Morgan Reagan, truth or trash?
Chris, I'm just going to go with truth. And I think because I've just doubted them so many times this season and they keep proving me wrong. Like, when I say proving me wrong, like they are doing things that track record shows of normal sports teams aren't capable of executing in a first season together, in a first season with a new head coach. And that's why it's like shocking every single time they do something new. So I'm just going to go with truth on this.
Yeah, I think like if I give it too much thought, I'll probably say trash, but it like kind of just to build on what you just said, I'm going to go with truth just because it's not going to be easy for anybody, right? Like we look at the Kings path and we're like, here's reason X, Y, and Z. Oh, they're going to match up tough with these guys. Everybody's going to have any road to the championship is going to be tough. And why not these guys? Like, I mean, they have, like you said, they've proven so many things over this year. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But is there a chance? I mean, again, like if they're at the 2-3 spot, they win their first round battle, whoever it is. Second round, you play a Memphis team that has had a lot of, turmoil and all this off the court stuff. Who knows how they go? Then you go to the final, Western Conference Finals. Who knows what can happen at that point? You have a 50-50 shot. And, who am I to say that they can't win that series? I mean, I've been saying I would have told you that there's no possible way for them to have 40 whatever wins they're going to have this season and be the 2 seed or even be in the spot that they're in right now. So kind of like you said, I think I'm just tired of putting my stamp down and denying these guys what they've proven all year.
That's weird because the truth or trash statement did not say the Kings could kind of be a contender in the West. It said the Kings are Western Conference contenders.
He said true.
If you want me to be confident, then it's trash.
Okay, that's I am trash too. I don't see this team coming out of the West. Yeah. I think they can make a run, and for all the stuff you guys just mentioned, the offense is beyond legit. I do have questions. Like last night, just Sabonis and Fox, they had to play the entire fourth quarter. Like Sabonis played almost 40 minutes because they literally could not play anyone else. And
but you look who else was playing on the other side at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, but if we want to play the minute game,
he doesn't play that many minutes ever, though.
That's my point, though, dude. Giannis played 34 minutes. Sabonis played just under 40 minutes.
That's what I expect to see in playoffs. I suspect him and De'Aaron to probably have to play 40 minutes for better or worse.
But I think, long term, this team I think is closer than we realize to being legit contenders. It really is. Some moves over the offseason, you could tweak it. Get a wing who could defend a little bit consistently, Keegan's growth, and getting like a legit backup big that you feel comfortable with would go such a long way. It's wild to me that the only big they feel comfortable playing is Chimezie Metu. Like, I think Alex Len's still an NBA player, and they just won't play him.
Yeah.
Rashawn Holmes is not playing. Like, I was pushing for Rashawn to get some more time at some point. He's just not playing.
No,
like there's nothing he can do. It's over, I guess. So it's like, all right, it's Metu or Lyles, small ball, I guess. Okay. Anyway, next up on Truth or Trash, the Bucks are clear favorites to win it all.
I'm gonna go trash. I don't think they're the clear favorites, but holy hell, after watching them last night, I mean, isn't it hard to be like, wait, but this other team is? I feel like there's just too many times I've doubted the Nuggets and what they're capable of, even though they're on their little losing skid still. I believe they lost 3.
Yes.
So there's still that for me. The Celtics I'm not as high on as I was to start this season.
Ooh, they lost to the Rockets last night.
Well, they've lost to Orlando, how many times this season? So it's just in some ways I should be saying truth, and I'm like kind of going back in my brain, but I'm just not there yet. I'm gonna say trash.
I'm gonna go with truth. I feel like it's just it feels like Giannis is, and he was incredible last night, but it just feels like he's just unguardable. And even in a matchup against the Celtics, like Jason Tatum's, he can try a matchup on Giannis, but he's not going to be in it. There's just no answer for him. And I think the way that the Bucks are structured with having another good wing player in Chris Middleton, he's somebody that you have to account for. And then Drew Holiday as well. They're built so beautifully. And then not to mention Brooke Lopez, who can stretch the floor offensively, but then provide elite rim protection at the rim. They're just complete, and they have depth. They have a legitimate head coach, a guy who's won before. It just feels like, yeah, I mean, they would be my bet by far.
Truth for me too. Like, I watch them and I'm like, they've got everything you need.
Yeah.
They've got a great player. Middleton, is he starting to look healthy again?
God,
Is he
he's
starting to
looking
come
good.
back into rhythm again?
Yeah.
Drew Holiday is a dog.
You can depend on him any night.
And Brooke Lopez.
And then they have Javon Carter.
Oh,
behind
dude,
him.
go down the line. They got depth. I mean, yeah. Are you
Yeah,
guys
Jay
trying
Crowder.
to convince me to go back and say truth?
No, I'm just, if this team is healthy, and I know we put that caveat in like any team, but if this team is healthy, I think they're the favorites. They've got the best record in the league right now. They've got a guy you can't stop in Giannis.
So
I mean,
dominant.
even last night, Giannis, are you kidding me? He's knocking down threes. He's hitting mid-range. He's scoring at will. Felt like he could have scored easily 60 points last night if he wanted to.
Deuce said that. And Chris, I feel like Giannis, every single possession, if he were to go downhill, all the defense would have to collapse. There would create either a wide open shot or guys moving without the basketball. And then I started laughing at myself because I'm like, okay, no one can do that for 34 minutes straight and play defense on the other end. But truly, he feels so dominant, so unstoppable on the floor.
Yeah. No, I mean, it felt like the only time the Kings really slowed him down at all was when they were able to draw charges on him. And at that point, it did seem like he kind of took a step back in terms of his aggressiveness. But, again, I will not stand in front of a 6'11", 245-pound Greek freak. That will not be my responsibility. But he's just unstoppable. Like there's nobody in this league that can stop him. And the only way you can is by collectively as a team focusing your defense. And, we've heard build a wall. And that's really the only way you can hope to stop him is by literally just putting bodies in front of the rim.
And now you could space it out with shooting. I mean, Lopez can knock down the three. Javon Carter, as you mentioned, is a 40+% three-point shooter. Holiday can knock it down. Middleton. Got guys left and right. It's disgusting. And they play defense. Yeah.
Joe Ingles didn't play last night.
Right.
Exactly. With that said, let's not overthink this. Joel Embiid is the NBA MVP. Truth or trash?
I'm going to say trash.
Yeah,
God.
I don't know. It's okay. And by the way, I'm not going to force you on truth or trash on this one, I guess, because I feel like this race
It's
is
still going.
It's still going, and it's okay. I think because
You just
how
forced me.
NBA discourse is, I'm taking it back. NBA discourse is, it's like we go MVP each and every week.
Right.
And in reality, it's close right now. I think it's to me, it is down to three. It's Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid.
Correct. And that's why even like I saw other people's top 5 and then you add Jason Tatum and then Luka on there. That's
Luka's get out.
And that's what a lot of people have. And I think sometimes it just goes to what his style of play as an individual, which doesn't make him the most valuable player to a team. It's I usually sit on the fence with this crap, but because it's truth or trash, Deuce usually makes me pick, but I'm so glad he's being so nice and not making me. Yeah, those 3 guys are doing something that is truly becoming unstoppable in the league. And when you have a guy that's capable of doing that, we see that with De'Aaron Fox in fourth quarters, just being able to get to spots and make those shots unstoppable at times, unless he's going up against guys like these guys. So, I want to say truth, but those 3 are my top 3 MVP candidates.
Yeah, I don't really think I can necessarily pick one either. Giannis definitely earned some votes from me last night for sure. In the fact that the Bucks are the best team in the East and have surged as of late, it feels like Giannis is kind of picking up some more momentum. But all 3 of those guys that you mentioned are well deserving and have carried their team all season long. I did hear on the Russillo Bill Simmons podcast though, Russillo at one point does say, and he says he hates to be this guy, but De'Aaron Fox deserves to at least be in the conversation. There's a 0% chance he's going to win the award, but you have to at least bring him up with how well he's played this year, with where the Kings are slotted currently. Like
him or Sabonis, though, that's what makes it tough for me.
Yeah. It is a matter of them taking votes away from each other. And I think at different points, I think in the first half of this season or in the first month and a half of this season, it felt like it was Sabonis who deserved it more. And then De'Aaron kind of had his run. So, I mean, I definitely hear that they could possibly just take votes away from each other.
Well, Chris, thanks for hanging out with us this hour, man. Of
Yeah.
course, we encourage everyone to check out Chris's new show. It's still new. How long until
It
it's
is
not new?
Once we change the name from Chris and Company to just Chris,
Is that what you're changing it to?
No, I
Actually,
don't know. There have been talks on it just because we don't have enough company, because nobody likes me, but it's fine. We're working on it. We're workshopping it.
You
still.
should just call it Chris. Just Chris.
That's
Wow.
so.
And
like,
there's 2 Chris's. So
oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, Chris.
So sharp.
Well, hey, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you, man.
appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
All right.
Enjoy talking with my guy Frank.
Yeah, Frankie Cartoscelli is coming up next. We'll look back at Kings Bucks, look ahead to the Kings road trip. It's not going to be as easy as it looks. We'll discuss that and more coming up. Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports, 1140 and SactownSports.com.
Peace.
Peace. Also news at this hour, Scoot Henderson, projected number 2 pick in the draft, has been shut down by the G League for the remainder of the Ignite season. The league feels Henderson has shown enough this season.
I mean, that sucks for us because obviously the Stockton Kings are taking on Ignite.
Yeah, coming up on Sunday. It bummed me out.
Yeah. No, and like we've called one of his. He's so fun. He's so fun to watch. So fun to watch. What's up, Frankie?
Hi guys.
Oh, good. He can hear us.
I can hear you. I didn't want to interrupt you though. Talking about Scoot. I don't want to interrupt the Scoot talk.
Good. I need a tinkle.
Oh my god. There's, dude. Dude, Wisconsin people are freaking weird, man.
They're very, very.
Oh my god, Deuce just looked back at me and goes, "Did you just cuss?"
I don't think so. Did you?
I
don't.
What a weirdo.
I don't know. I don't think.
I was like,
I
I
don't
said
think you did.
frickin'.
I didn't hear
No,
anything.
you guys, I
No.
said frickin'.
No,
Oh, well, that can be considered a cuss.
yeah. Darn it. No, yeah, the Bucks fans are.
I was
very
told
upset.
at my Christian school,
Oh wait,
it doesn't matter what you actually say, but it's the feeling in your heart which makes it a curse word.
What?
Do you still go by that?
No,
Okay.
What? That they
I guess I
taught-
do because I just say it.
Yeah.
They taught you.
Noted.
Oh yeah.
That?
Take note. Take note, Morgan.
That is scary. Scary stuff going on over there, huh?
Yeah.
What and Frankie, what were you saying though?
That Bucks fans are. I mean, I don't want to come off like I'm salty myself because really it's a play that, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it. That I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's going to be talking about on either side in a week. But Bucks fans are very, very upset by this interaction that took place last night. Like they're very triggered and wanting to make themselves heard. That Trey Lyles started this whole thing.
Dude, and it is I am totally fine with fan bases like jumping on things or whatever, but like you gotta be right. You just gotta be right about it if you're gonna jump on and try and rub it in people's faces, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
look who started everything.
It's just crazy. I mean, they won a championship literally 2 years ago, and they're picking fights with Kings fans on social media.
I think that's a question for Rami.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they think. I saw Nick thinks that Trey Lyles started it all. I think that's what he said yesterday, or he was out of line. Yeah, I think that's what Nick said. I'm interested to see if Nick and Rami have some back and forth today. I'm intrigued to see if they have some back and forth today.
Nick going hot take. There's no way. Giannis started it, and Lyles got a little ticked off. It's not a big deal. Like, Lyles overreacted. Whatever. It gets hot in the game.
It's a basketball. It's like a basketball
when people
situation.
talk like that, and like it's like, have you guys played sports before? Have you ever had like any competitive setting? Have you played Monopoly Deal? I get hot in Monopoly Deal sometimes. You know,
What's Monopoly Deal?
You don't know what Monopoly Deal is?
it's way better than Monopoly. I'll tell you that.
Chris, we gotta go have a beer and play some Monopoly Deal. Or
I don't know what that is either. But
Oh my god, you guys are missing out,
Frankie,
dude. Just look it up.
God.
It's a way better version of Monopoly.
it's such a fun game. Frankie, and do you like playing games with your family?
I mean, I'm not a huge board game guy, but we
It's
play
not,
some
it's
things.
not a board game.
Cards.
It's a card
Exploding.
game.
Cards.
Well, not cards. No, we play like ever played Exploding Kittens before? Anybody?
No.
Exploding Kittens is a fun game.
That sounds like a Yuba City fun game. To
No,
play, huh?
it's not. We've discovered it here, not in Yuba City. Yuba City, they have an actual Yuba City version of Monopoly. And it's I can't remember what it's called.
What you just said? You just I've landed on the meth lab.
Yeah.
Here's wait, what?
Very much. That's Marysville. But
Oh my God.
we're not
No, Frankie, we never care. about
Also,
anything.
the Bucks fans on Twitter, they're all like 12, 13 years old. Like, what? We can't get caught up in trolling. No rational Bucks fan is trolling the Kings today. Like, that's ridiculous.
No, I mean they definitely are. Yeah, it definitely seems like it's that age demographic for sure.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a lot.
Philip
5
says
seconds.
Monopoly Deal is so fun. Brooks says Monopoly Deal ruins friendships for real. Yeah.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings' 3-game winning streak came to an end last night when the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Kings 133-124. For more on last night's game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown on SactownSports.com. Kings are traveling today to start their 4-game road trip, which starts in Chicago against the Bulls. You can listen to tomorrow's Kings-Bulls game right here on Sactown Sports. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the New York Giants are trading for Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round draft pick. For more information on the trade and all of your NFL offseason moves, check out SactownSports.com. Now it's that time with our Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartoscelli, with Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
I love this song so much.
It makes me feel better about my life.
It just fires me up. It should be my intro song for life.
You,
You just walk in, you just feel like a badass hearing the song. You just stare around. Every time I hear music, it relates back to wrestling. So,
obviously.
Yeah, not surprised.
yeah. Welcome in. It's Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, Deuce and Mo live on Sactown Sports, Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. Hanging out with our Kings insider. You can read his work at SactownSports.com. If you're not, you're missing out. Yes, SactownSports.com puts out exclusive content all the time. It's not just Associated Press copy and paste. Frankie is working hard covering this team. Check out his work, SactownSports.com. Frankie, Kings lose last night to the Bucks 133-124. What was your biggest takeaway from that game?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it was a battle. And I think that's the one thing coming into last night's game was, and it's been kind of like a way you gauge every matchup with the Kings in a quote unquote tough game. Are they going to show up? Can they compete? Can they make it close? Which is something that we'd say a lot about Kings games in the past. Can they make it close was like the quote. Now it's can they win? And even before Giannis was ruled active, that was the question was, can the Kings deliver another signature win? We've seen them have, wins over the Suns and the Clippers that kind of set them aside from, in my opinion, pretenders. And I don't want to say contenders like you guys were talking about for championship, but contenders as far as legitimate playoff threats. The Kings have proven that. And last night was another just example of what they can bring to the table. Yeah. And they fell short, but it's Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton, who had his best game in over a year. They showed up in a big time in the first half. Obviously, the second half, Giannis did what he does best, and Chris Middleton got hot in the fourth. But Kings go up against one of the best defenses in the league, score 124 points, and that's not a slouch of an offensive performance there. And you put up 124 on the Bucks, but obviously stopping Giannis Antetokounmpo is literally an impossible feat. But the Kings showed up in a big way, and I'm happy with the Kings going 2-1 over a stretch that included the Knicks, who are playing incredible basketball.
Yeah.
The Suns, who the Kings have had a tough time with or without Kevin Durant, and then they almost pull out a win against the Bucks. So good basketball from the Kings.
I think one of my favorite parts about it too, it's not like we're sitting here today and going like, oh my God, the Kings played so well for going up against the Bucks. It's like, no, the Kings showed that they belong with these teams. Like, even if I know they did not beat the Bucks this year. The Bucks, breaking news, the best team technically record-wise, I guess, in the league. The best team in the Eastern Conference, number one team. And I think how the Kings played last night just shows that they can go up against any team in this league, have a good competitive basketball game. And now for anyone that has doubted their game, you just look at the way that they play like a team, the way that they face adversity and make adjustments. You saw Mike Brown, that first play that Giannis Antetokounmpo scored in the first quarter. He called a timeout at like the 10-minute mark, starts screaming at Kevin Huerter, holds him accountable. Boom. Look at the type of night that Kevin Huerter has.
Yeah, Huerter had a monster night. He got red hot. He ends up knocking down 8 threes. He had 17 points in just the fourth quarter. And that's the one thing I think that impressed me about the Kings last night. They were taking punches. And of course, we know the problems with defense with the Sacramento Kings. Of course, the Bucks present some really tough matchups. But I was really eager to see how the Kings offense was going to look against a team that features Drew Holiday, legit defender, Giannis, dog, and then Brook Lopez, who is probably the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. The Kings, yeah, they got kind of out of their stuff. They didn't get the same type of looks, but they still got good looks. The ball was still moving. It wasn't stagnant. They had 30-plus assists. The three-point shooting was legit. They put up 124 points on a really, really, really good Bucks team.
Yeah, and that was another thing coming into last night's game is the Kings, we all know their offense has been historical this season. It's been, the top offensive rating in the history of basketball so far. Is it legitimate? I think that's still a question that people are asking, mostly on the outside. I think if you watch Kings basketball, you know this offense is legit. 9 in, 9 out, they're putting up 120, 125, 130 points per night. But going up against I don't want to say fully healthy. Joe Ingles wasn't playing, so I guess they were, not fully healthy.
They're fully healthy.
Pretty healthy. Yeah, they're fully healthy with the guys that make defensive impact. And the Kings went out there and put up 124 points. And I will say, outside of Kevin Huerter and Fox, the offense slowed down in the second half. That to me was the Bucks making those second half adjustments. They really clogged the paint and took Domantas Sabonis out of the game. And he who had a huge first half, I think he only scored, was it 5 points in the second half? 6 points in the second half? I have it right here. Domantas Sabonis in the second half only scores 6 points. So, when you take him out of that and how effective he was early, that was a big difference maker to me. But the offense, as you can see, hasn't really had a game where you go, oh, maybe there's, not as good as people think they are. No, they held their end of the bargain last night and they showed up.
I think that's it. You bring up Sabonis too, who ends up finishing with another triple-double. He had 23 points, 17 rebounds, 15 assists in the game, 11 of 23 shooting, 10 offensive rebounds for him, by the way. The number that is just striking to me, he did not have a free throw. And so we could talk about good Bucks defense, which, for sure, like they're going to alter shots, but they also play physical. And you cannot tell me that the way Sabonis plays, which he plays with physicality, he's banging down low, he's trying to create contact, he's trying to get to the free throw line. He took no free throws. That's criminal. That is
Frankie.
Criminal.
I posted on Instagram and Twitter today this photo that Rocky, who obviously takes all the photos at Golden One Center.
Great stuff.
Iconic photographer. And he had this photo of Sabonis going up. And
For a jam.
Brook Lopez is holding his arm. And I just reposted and I'm like, no free throws, huh? It's pretty wild. Even with that right there, and you're seeing him get all banged up. What do you think that's about?
I even saw people, we talked about, again, when we were off the air, about how there are Bucks fans, and they probably are like our kids, that somehow got into a Twitter account that are, I saw some tweets that are saying that Domantas Sabonis gets like an all-time whistle. And I'm just thinking, what the hell are you watching? Domantas Sabonis, I don't know if I wish there was a metric to measure how many players get hit without fouls being called, because Domantas Sabonis, the guy's a warrior. He's out there every night just getting beat to hell. Whether it's getting hit in the head, I think that's something that he gets hit in the head at least twice a game. The man is playing through so many things. And I don't understand how someone could sit there and say that Domantas Sabonis, of all players, is getting an all-time whistle when he has to fight in tooth and nail just to get to the line. And last night didn't even happen. Last night, one of the greatest performances arguably in Kings history. When you look at how many people have done what he did last night, not one free throw attempt. The Kings as a team took 15 free throw attempts. So that's just, to me, that's just puzzling. Yeah. It's puzzling. And I hate to wave the refereeing flag and all that stuff, but
it's not why they lost the game.
No,
but
absolutely not.
It's just something you look at, you go, oh my God. The Kings defense down the stretch, especially the final few minutes of the fourth quarter. The Kings scored 37 points in the fourth quarter. against any other team, that's just a tremendous night. You're probably winning, no problem. But the fact is, the Bucks scored 43. They did it efficiently. They were also knocking down the 3 ball. That Middleton Lopez pick and roll was an issue. You mentioned Middleton having his best game. Dude, Brook Lopez, what a monster. I'm always astonished at Brook Lopez's career path because he's always been a good player. But if longtime NBA fans will remember him playing for the Nets, he was an all-star there. But he was like a back-to-the-basket dude, right?
Yeah.
And now he has evolved into this defensive force, leading the league in blocks per game, total blocks, contested shots. He's had 17 blocks in the last 3 games. He had 3 last night, 5 the night before that, 9 the game before that. It's insane. And he hits the 3. Oh, by the way, he had back surgery at one point.
Yeah, you guys, it's incredible. One of my favorite things about Brook Lopez is seeing a player being able to alter their game, to evolve their game, change their game to what the league evolves into as well. And to be able to stretch the floor like he does, and then to also be the defensive force in the middle of the paint, altering shots, whether he's contesting a shot or contesting someone driving it in and having to think twice and passing it out and slowing down an entire offense. It's no wonder he's in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
Have you guys talked to Chris about his love of the Lopez brothers? How he's always wanted a Lopez twin on the Kings. Always. He has an obsession. He has an obsession with it.
What's Chris's deal? What?
Why?
Well, you're talking about Brook Lopez. He doesn't bring that up.
That is weird.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't bring it up?
No.
Oh, bring it up tomorrow.
We're friends.
He has I cannot believe he didn't bring it up. He has an obsession. I think Robin. He more wants Robin Lopez. He's always wanted Robin Lopez as a backup center, but he is obsessed with the Lopez twins.
So they have another brother. I don't know his name, but the Lopez family lives in the area, Northern California area.
Okay.
And so over the years, you've seen his family after games all the time. Like I could recognize his mom and his brother who goes to games. The brother looks just like Brook and is jacked and tall. And I'm like, I wonder why he wasn't ever an NBA player. Like, the guy is massive. They're all just, Brook Lopez is a giant man. Like, just seeing him get angry I got scared. I was like 300 feet away. I'm like, I don't want to be part of this.
Yeah.
They're fiery, man. Remember, Robin Lopez destroyed like chairs. It was like, I mean, I guess as you would say, wrestling style, destroying chairs, right?
Yeah.
And he was just he goes after the mascot, stuff like that. I mean, he's a character.
I love that Frankie was trying to throw in a little bit of your
try and tie it in.
That was nice. No, that was nice. See, you're way better than Chris Watkins, who didn't even give a damn about mentioning his love for the Lopez brothers. Come on.
Tomorrow, Chris, tell them tomorrow. Don't hide that.
Fox's night was interesting last night. He had 35 points, 13 of 23 shooting. He got it really going in that second half. He took 12 threes. He was 5 of 12 from downtown. I felt like in the first half, he was settling a little too much from 3. I actually liked the looks he got in the second half, and then he started knocking some down too. The Bucks are giving that to him, and you wonder, is this going to be more of a theme, especially when we start talking about playoffs? It's like, you know what? We're just going to play off Fox. Like, we are going to let him take threes. Let him do that because he does so much damage. If he gets in the paint, it creates everything for that Kings offense, right? Whether it's him getting to the basket, his ability to accelerate, slow down, he's shifty, he's creative, he can hit the mid-range shot. I think the Bucks were comfortable with just allowing him to shoot threes.
They were. It's not only allowing him to shoot threes, they would have been comfortable with him shooting his mid-range shot, a shot that he is very efficient with, because they are so good at still contesting it, altering it, getting a hand in the face to make life a little bit harder. So even if you're used to taking that shot, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And I understand that's the tough part, when an entire defense can really change up the identity of your offense. And the identity of their offense is getting those paint touches. And when that paint is just full of big bodies that are also active and can move around, not just filling up the paint and being there, but are so active defensively, it's going to make things tough. And I get why he was settling, maybe even just trying to look at the floor at first and being like, what do I do? How do I get in there?
Well, we'll talk more about this game. We'll also look ahead to the road trip coming up. We'll take a 1-minute break on the radio side, but don't get it twisted, all right? We're always live on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. It's Deuce and Mo with our Kings insider, Frankie Cartoscelli on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
Chris is in the chat.
Yeah.
He said, I was trying to retain my journalistic integrity.
Oh, man, no.
And they said, watching Trey and Brooke fight last night was traumatic because Chris, you know, is a big Trey Lyles guy. So yeah, he texted Brendan Nunez and I and said, yeah, that he's like, of course, my two guys are fighting right now. Of course.
Whose side
Tough
did he
night.
have?
Yeah, whose side
Chris.
did he have?
Yeah, Chris, whose side did you want? Trey? I mean, he had to be Trey. You gotta be on the King's side.
I love that Frankie turns to the chat and goes, Chris, who's just tell us.
Speak to us, Chris.
Oh my God.
Yeah, tough night for Lopez fans like Chris.
It's amazing that I could have an iced Americano with an ad shot and then yawn after.
What we're doing in our lives is not healthy right now. Like, you got to understand that. There's nothing that's going to help you.
I could think of one thing. I could connect with my dad and get a little.
Oh.
No, Frankie.
Dame was on Old Man on the 3 podcast.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see like
I saw the
clip
clip, but
that
I
they
didn't
did?
listen.
No.
It's pretty good.
Is
That'd
it
be something
Kings
to talk
related
about.
or
no? Just Dame related.
Okay, let's do it after Frankie.
5 seconds. Oh, I don't I don't think we go that early.
Yeah.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
100%. You know, I don't know what happened, but so we ain't taking no from nobody. Trust me on that. And they all gonna have each other's back in there. That don't mean we gonna go out there and start something. We're not. But we gonna stand up for ourselves and each other.
I think Fox did it pretty well. You know, could have been avoided if he just dribbled it out. If you watch it, I was walking back, my head down, he crossed in front of me, reached from behind, kind of clamped down on my arm, so I pushed to get my arm off. He sold it a little bit. It was nothing personal, but you know, a bigger guy walks down on me. I'm not really one for talking. I think you know, I've showed it a lot. You know, it takes a lot for me to get out of character, and yeah, just not gonna go for that. So.
Trey Lyles, Mike Brown reacting to what went down late in the game. Giannis, just a little troll job, in my opinion. Giannis could have just dribbled it out. I'm not mad at Giannis, too. I'm not playing the Sacramento. I'm angry at Giannis for what he did. It's whatever.
Love Giannis.
Giannis dribbling out, veers right in front of Lyles. Lyles is like, what are you doing? Fouls him. His arm kind of gets, I don't know, caught, or did Giannis hold it for a second? Whatever happened, Lyles didn't like it, pushes him. Lopez comes over like the teammate of the cinch and goes, yo, that's not happening. Then we saw a little pushing, a little choke.
Love it.
I don't even know if a choke, hand on the
Well,
throat.
I mean, I think he tried pushing the face and it went to the neck, you know? But
the face push is like a that's a fight. That's a basketball fighting move. The face push in basketball, yeah, that happens a lot.
I loved it. I loved everything about
I'm
it.
so with you I mean, everything. I'm talking about, I loved what the Milwaukee Bucks did. I love that Brooke Lopez was like, I got my guys back. But I love even more because, hi, I'm a Kings fan. Loved that Trey Lyles did not back down and instead just went after him a little
Giannis
more.
gets away with stuff in the league because
yeah.
he is so likable. He's so good with the media. He's got the big smile. But he does stuff like that. Like, this is not the first time he's done something like that in a game. You watch him enough, you see some of the little dirty tricks he pulls off in the middle of a game. That's who he is, and people don't talk about it because it's Giannis. But last night, he was doing a little troll job. He got physical in that game. They got the win. He's like, I'm going to dribble in front of Trey Lyles, who I've been dealing with down low.
Frankie, you played basketball. When I played basketball and I was a shorter person, point guard on the floor, when someone would try to post up on me, like something dirty and little thing I would try and do, I would pinch their back fat when they would post up on me, you know? And so they'd get all pissed off and I'm like, why is she so angry, ref? Tear up. You know, you're just like kind of an ass. Did you ever do anything?
Frank, come on. You think Frankie played defense? There's zero chance.
I like my playing days were mostly like when I played big minutes were Parks and Rec time. But in high school, I was the guy that I would go and, you know, garbage time. Like I was out there, I was deli out there, just going out there and trying to get buckets, But we did play against Woodland one time, and those kids at Woodland are pretty big,
Did you shoot like Delhi?
I wasn't really a shooter. No, I was more of a passer. Just kind of a distributor, So I wouldn't say it. I guess I was a shooter like Delhi then. I guess I was a shooter like Delhi in that regard. If you've seen the form.
So you're a passer. Did you play defense? Like, what was your like?
I didn't play. Like, I just didn't play.
Okay, but no, just if you have an NBA comp, who do you think your NBA comp is?
NBA comp. I used to. I'm trying to think about someone who didn't play any defense at all.
Ooh.
Small, didn't play any defense at all. I don't know.
We're thinking.
I'm thinking too. Nate Robinson. I mean, did he play defense?
Stop it. No, because he could dunk.
Yeah.
You have zero hops.
I could grab net. Net.
The deli thing is probably the two smaller white dudes.
He doesn't play defense either. I don't know what
he used to. Deli played defense. I mean, how can we forget the great 20?
I know.
Performance.
I'm saying you don't play defense. Like Frankie, if all you could do on the floor was pass, like I don't know who you.
Why'd they let you on the team?
Yeah, how'd you make the team?
His dad was a coach, guys.
Not the head coach. Not the head coach. I'm not going to sit here and try to say I was a great basketball player. I did not play defense again because I didn't get off the bench very often.
But I mean, when you got in there, you weren't playing D, huh? Okay.
No, I was. I really was trying. And I'm saying was I was 5'4" in high school, so I'm trying to guard someone who's 5'11", 6 feet tall.
Why are we punking him right now?
Well, he's kind of punking himself. He's punking himself because I'm like,
being
Frankie,
honest.
why didn't you if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Why didn't you pinch some back fat and kick someone in the balls?
I haven't gotten to tell the story yet. I pulled armpit hair.
Oh, there we go.
No, that's disgusting.
Good job,
That's
Frankie.
gross.
I'm
That's
proud
hard
of
to
you.
do too.
That's the grossest
No,
thing
it's
I've ever
not.
heard.
Genius.
Those kids out there, poor hygiene, their armpit hair was down to their side almost. I just would yank.
Oh, Frankie,
You're gonna post me up.
What?
Mad respect.
More,
Mad
no, no,
They
respect.
didn't like
Yep.
it very much.
Morgan, here's the thing I'll say about you. The pinching the back fat thing, that's a thing that happens. Mike Brown, I thought yesterday, Mike Brown during the press conference, he was talking about how he and Mike Budenholzer, when they were coaches in San Antonio, used to go 2-on-2 against Danny Ferry and Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr would do a whole bunch of stuff, pinching and stuff. And so you did that too. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, Frankie is the only person.
No, he's not.
Let me finish. Frankie is the only person in the history of sports to pull sweaty, greasy, stinky, BO.
Do you think that was my idea?
They
told me that. They said you're 5 foot nothing. What should I do?
Armpit hair. You touch someone's arm. I'm not touching someone's armpit when I'm playing basketball.
Frankie,
I didn't go up into the armpit. It's like hair. You just give it a little pull. It's not like I'm in there.
You act like he had cousin it coming from his arm.
It was
Frankie,
super long.
Don't listen to him.
Way longer than it needed to be.
Don't listen to him because I've asked Deuce about because he's wanted to be a wrestler. He's like, oh, I wish I was a wrestler. And I'm like, why would you get in the ring with sweat? You're in a guy's armpit, blood is coming all over your body from someone else's body. That's gross. Pulling armpit hair. Well done.
Okay, well,
I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm gonna go
to the more rational person with us right now. Chris Verlod.
Oh God.
Oh jeez.
Yes, sir.
Disgusting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Team Frankie.
You know what? I'm out there. I'm 5-0. I have to defend myself in the post.
You could think of something better to do than pull armpit.
What
hair.
am I supposed to do?
Use your elbows.
Yeah.
The guy was huge.
If I was coaching you and you did that, I'm cutting you immediately.
Time out.
And not because it's like a dirty thing or me. It's just gross. I don't want gross people on my
Frankie
team.
Def
You're
sniffed
gross.
his fingers afterwards. Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Right to wash the hands. And again, did not play at all. That's why it happened.
I love that we just piled on Frankie here. Hey, so the Kings road trip coming up.
I can take it. I hope you guys. This is my life. I can. Take
We know.
it doesn't bother me.
It seems to be the station motivation is just punk Frankie.
No, that's my whole life has been busting chops. It's like everybody. It's because I don't know if it's nice or because I just walked myself into it. Probably both. But
yeah, you walked yourself into it for sure.
I'm okay with it.
Kings start the road trip. This is their last long road trip of the year. 4-game road trip. You got the Bulls, the Nets on a back-to-back. Then you have the Wizards and the Jazz. to wrap things up. But how are you feeling? What are your expectations? Morgan was saying last night, she goes, I think this needs to be at minimum 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1 to me has to happen. I mean, it's a tough back-to-back though. You're going from Chicago to Brooklyn. That to me is like one of their tougher back-to-backs. I mean, the other tough back-to-back is the end of the trip because you play Utah and come home and play Boston on Tuesday. That is tough. But I do think 3-1 is doable. I mean, Brooklyn is a team that will give the Kings some problems. I think they have a lot of length. They got, like we joked about, they got pretty much every forward that was rumored to be available on the trade market. So they look different. Obviously, Chicago, they have scorers like Levine and DeRozan that can hurt you. But the Kings have already played well against them so far. They have to take care of business with them. And Utah, I mean, a team that's kind of on the cusp of being in the playoff race, play-in race. They're in it. Kings are 2-0 against them this year. It'd be nice to kind of just put them in the rear view and go 3-0 against them. So 3-1. I mean, that's a number to me. I think that's a fair ask, especially how the Kings are playing right now. I mean, they're 40-27. The top 4 is very much in play. They have to win these games to kind of square things away.
The Bulls are 5-3 since the break, and they're top 6 in both offensive and defensive ratings since then, which is kind of crazy. The Beverly edition. I'm not a big Beverly guy, but
no, you said he'd be playing. You said he would be playing for the Sharks.
You did say
he
that.
is after this year. He is.
Okay.
Oh, be nice.
He got one more shot. They did that. Oh, he's from the area, so we signed him. But he's had an impact. Caruso being healthy. They still have weapons where you better be locked in. And the Nets scare me because they've got length. They've been playing some pretty good basketball.
Yep.
Like it's not going to be as easy as people. I think people look at this trip and go, "Oh, easy, 4-1 or 4-0, 3-1." I'm like, I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be tough. But the Kings are better than all 4 of those teams, in my opinion.
And one last thing, too, talking to Matt Barnes about it last night on the postgame show, he was just kind of saying how these other teams, when you get under 500, 3 of these 4 teams, when you get to a point when there's nothing to lose at the end of the season, you're just trying to screw it up for everyone else, right? So, like, they're going into these games with that type of mentality. So Kings got to stay ready and play like they did against the Bucks last night against all these teams.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's coming easy at this point in the year for anybody. I mean, that's the tough part about all these teams coming up, that they're all in the race still. I mean, Chicago, I don't think they're dead yet by any means. Washington, they're a team that's I think 3-4 games out of a play-in spot. Washington's actually they're in a pretty good position, I think, actually, Washington. So the Kings are playing some teams that are definitely in the mix. They're not playing any teams that are tanking. I mean, it's such a bad year for teams that are tanking, I think, outside of the teams in Detroit and Houston and San Antonio and so on. Kings need to show up. And they've been the best road team in the West. And that's why I have confidence. I'm not going into these games saying the Kings, I expect them to win and you expect it to be an easy road trip, but you have to feel good about them more times than not because of how good they've been on the road this season. They've proven they can win on the road. And that's something that they have that literally no other team in the West has, that record and that track record. So I'm feeling optimistic. I think, like Morgan, 3-1, that's my goal.
Well, Frankie's going to have it covered. He'll be all over this road trip, covering each and every game. You can check out his work, SactownSports.com. Frankie, thanks so much for joining us. And I'm glad you allow us to bully you.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate you so much, Frankie. It's all love.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I don't look at it as bowling. I look at it as tough love. Chris,
Probably should see it as bowling.
I knew you would say that, but I mean, anyone out there that's playing basketball, make sure you tell your teammates, trim your armpit hair.
Ooh.
We got much more coming up next. It's Deuce and Mo. We stay live at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. And we got much more coming up. It's Deuce and Mo, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
What's one more question, Frankie?
Yeah.
How were you doing it? Were you like a handful or like
no, literally just like this, like
yeah,
like
I got you.
Thumb. I literally didn't grab it with my hand. I literally just because again,
you grab my armpit hair during a game, we're fighting.
No, he did. That's why he literally turned around and shoved me in the middle of a game, and it caused I played 2 minutes in this game, and I made him that angry.
Learn your lesson.
No.
Yeah, don't listen to your friends that were just like messing with you.
I'm not letting someone post me up. I don't care how bad I am.
Good. Hey, Frankie, good job. Don't listen to any of these people. Yeah, no, I got you. I
stand up for myself.
Yeah, dude. I don't care if it's pulling some armpit hair. Oh, shit.
He lost respect for me?
Yeah, I can't believe you can hear that. Yeah.
Come on.
You don't need Deuce's respect. Look at him.
It's
Come
not
on
my
now.
fault the kids had poor hygiene.
West Sac Kings fan says, I'm trying to eat. He's getting grossed out by us talking armpit hair.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Come on, you're good.
All right.
Yeah, well, thanks, Frankie. Seriously, appreciate you, and I know we'll be connecting with you on Friday as well.
Yeah, I'll be in Friday, and I'm sure we'll talk more about things that definitely won't get me, as Chris likes to lovingly put it, bullied. I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of things that will be just fun and, yeah.
Yes. Hey, tell your family I say hi.
I will. I'll
Okay.
tell them I said hello. My mom just came out of health and safety protocols. She just came out of protocols. She's feeling healthy. She's feeling good.
She's okay?
In the clear, yeah, she's good. But that was not fun time for her. So
Ugh, I'm
she's
so
good.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
thanks for everything.
Yeah.
And sorry everyone for the armpit talk. I'll see you guys on Friday.
Bye, Frankie.
All right, bye.
Oh my God. Let's see. I've swiped my head on an opponent's jersey to wipe my sweat. That's funny, Luke. Someone else says, hi, Frankie's mom. Yup.
You want to know what I do to frustrate people?
What?
I just play hard. That's all I do. I just play hard.
Same here. And then I got laid out.
I play within the rules of the game. I play hard.
Good for you,
I'm
Deuce.
a little physical.
Good
I'll
for
bump
you.
you around and get in your head. Like Morgan, we've played one-on-one before. I fouled Morgan. She chucked the ball at me, like pissed.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, one, he fouled me and was saying no foul or complaining about it. And I was like, what the heck? And I took the ball.
Deuce? Complaining?
Thank you. And I did, out of anger that I couldn't control for some reason, took the ball and I said, what was that? And I chucked it at
What was the foul?
I don't even remember. I mean, this was like 2013. Like this was.
And then I go, what are you even throwing the ball at me for? Was
Like,
that the voice that he used?
Yeah, no, I think he was like almost pumped after it. Like, let's go. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'll kill you.
Can't handle the smoke, Morgan.
I handled it.
Can't handle the smoke. Get out of the dispensary. You know?
That what they're saying? Is
We
that
might
what
have
they're
to take
saying?
it easy on Frankie.
Why?
He came in and we were talking and he goes, are you guys still roasting me?
Okay.
No. Now he's being a baby.
No, now Chris is being
Okay.
sensitive. I don't like that.
I'm not being sensitive.
Mm-hmm. What's going on, YouTube chat? Big John, that's not funny.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings' 3-game winning streak came to an end last night when the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Kings 133-124. For more on last night's game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown on SactownSports.com. Kings are traveling today to start their 4-game road trip, which starts in Chicago against the Bulls. You can listen to tomorrow's Kings Bulls game right here on Sactown Sports. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the New York Giants are trading for Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round draft pick. For more information on the trade and all of your NFL offseason moves, check out SactownSports.com. And now it's time for more Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan coming up at 1. Got another member of No Dunk stopping by. We've had J.E. Skeets before. We have not talked to Taz Melas before.
No.
It's weird. It's so weird when you see these guys. Of course, they're formerly the starters. Now No Dunks Inc. They've been No Dunks for a while now. But it's wild when you see these guys so often over the years, you feel like you know them. But
Yes.
we've never talked to Taz before.
No. And like we've said a few things over tweets at
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
and like they've mentioned our show, our podcast on their show, and it's so cool that we get this opportunity finally.
So that's going to be at 1 o'clock. We need to talk about the latest with John Morant, Morgan. Could he be done for the year? We found out yesterday, according to Woj, that John Morant has entered a counseling program in Florida and remains without a timetable on a return to the NBA this season. He's been seeking assistance for what he described in a statement as a need to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being, which has taken him out of Memphis on a leave from the team. So there's no word on when he will be back. Apparently, Morant has maintained contact with his teammates, continuing to participate in the Grizzlies group text chain and talking to some Memphis players over the phone. Mark J. Spears said on the Hoop Collective podcast, saying, quote, "There's things I'm hearing that I'd rather probably not say on this podcast. My guess now is that he doesn't play the rest of this season," end quote.
Okay, I'll start first with the obviously just the person, John Morant. I love this for him from the sense of taking the right steps even if it's difficult. There's so many times in our lives we take on things and then we don't set boundaries, or we're too embarrassed to quit or to stop or do what we need to do, when really you have to do the right things for yourself. John Morant on the biggest stage of his life right now with the Nike shoe coming out, being one of the top NBA players, and taking this time to be like, oh no, I need to really get something done. Whether this is an NBA thing too, behind the scenes or not, he's getting the real help that he needs.
Yeah, I think the NBA is in a tough spot too, because I think they don't want to get in the business of, like, especially with the gun thing. They don't want to get in the business of going, we're going to suspend him for having a gun, when the law enforcement in Colorado did not do anything about it.
Correct.
So they're more like, the team needs to handle this. And I'm sure they are encouraging this whole process. And yeah, I mean, you've seen enough of the Instagram stuff, not only from that night, the images of him over the offseason chugging tequila like it was water. He's a young man that needs some help to work on things. And the best thing is that it's happening now when he's still young, and not when he's 27 and has been just going down a bad path for years. It's like, he can address this now, and he can come out of the other end and be in a good spot. He's got some things to work out, and I just hope he works it out. You know, you don't want to see these young people just throw away everything.
No, and I feel like before becoming the most hated team in the NBA, John Morant was one of the most liked players. Like you saw last year, after he got most improved player and drops it off at his teammate's house, Desmond Bane being like, no, you are the most improved player. Like, you saw these moments within his life where you're like, oh, he's a real teammate. He's a good one. He's having fun out there on the floor, and it's translating into good basketball and wins. Now, maybe it got to his head. We don't know. You can speculate however you want to speculate. I mean, 23-year-old, what were you doing at 23? What was going through your head at that age? And when you don't have the right people around you, yeah, things can get really bad. No, and also when people are depending on you, when you are the breadwinner, there's a lot more responsibility that you take on mentally, emotionally. And yeah, I can't imagine what he's going through, but I'm just so glad, like you said, that whoever's around him telling him, get this help, whether it's the NBA or family members, good for him.
Yeah, and you hope it take up as much time as you need. Like, just get right.
Yep.
Because you are the franchise guy, and they can't have him in a spot, not only because they care about him, obviously, but just for the team. Like, this team's trying to win a championship. You know, he's supposed to be the leader, the guy. And if he is not in a good spot, then they're not in a good spot. And it sucks that this is going to alter their championship aspirations this year. But if John Morant comes back next year, focused, ready to go, feeling great, being able to manage stress or whatever, like he was talking about, in better ways besides going out, drinking all night, then that's huge. Not only for him as a person, but as a player in the NBA.
Absolutely. So you talk about that side of things with John Morant, and now you go to the basketball court and you go and see where the Memphis Grizzlies are in the standings, and they're still at that third spot.
Number 2 now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They won last night and the Kings lost.
They're at that number 2 spot in the Western Conference, and they have other good pieces on their squad. We've seen this team win without John Morant, but you still feel a certain type of chaos, a different type of mentality surrounding the Memphis Grizzlies. letting things get to their head, suspensions, injuries, and now John Morant stuff. I don't know. I mean, I think it's fair to not feel half as confident in this team.
Oh, no, but they've won 3 in a row. Part of it, a really nice home win against Golden State Warriors, and they took on Dallas in a home set. Luka and Kyrie didn't play. Luka didn't play in both games. So, you still won without Ja. And you still without Steven Adams, obviously, and Clark, who's out for the season after he ruptured his Achilles. And coming up, they've got at Miami, at San Antonio, Golden State, Dallas, and you got Houston a couple times. They're treading water. So I think they're in a position not to completely fall out of it, but I don't envision them staying in the 2 spot. I don't. I just think with Ja being out this long, it's not going to be that easy. It's just not.
Yeah. I mean, and what it does to, like we said, like the demeanor, the energy of the team. It just, and it's great that he's still in the team group chat and they're still, supporting and everyone's still there for one another, but it changes things. And I think when all this stuff was first going down, you first always think about, oh my, this is awful for this human, but then it's great that he's getting help. And so that's why it is great now that we can kind of talk more about the basketball side in the Western Conference. And so it's not only the Memphis Grizzlies that are having their issues. You're seeing with the Denver Nuggets and their losing skid, teams and their health. It's crazy to look at how many things are working well for the Sacramento Kings.
All right, coming up next, what, Morgan?
I was trying to hurry because I saw you do the break sign.
You give it to me sometimes too, and I just wrap it up. When I just do a break sign to you, by the way, casually do a break sign, so hey, we're going to break. She slumps back in her chair as if I said, stop talking now.
I was scared.
What isn't shown is the 3 times she has told me to break today, and I just go, yeah.
Can I be honest? That's me just being a teammate. I'm being like, oh,
yeah,
and I don't care if you break or
thing.
I don't care if you break or not.
Coming up next, Chris is going to bring some life to the party. It's time for a little story time with Chris Verlade. It's coming up next. Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com.
What?
Come on, DeMarcus. That was a DeMarcus move. I'm just telling you, hey, we got a break here. That's all. It was 12:40. I'm just letting you know.
I was closing
The
out
Dell
my
Technologies.
I was just giving you a heads up, man. I didn't know you know.
I knew. And I'm sorry for.
Sorry about this, but I have to step out really quick.
No. Get back here. Oh my God. People are so weird. Just fans of teams are funny.
It's social media.
And it's that. So depressing. Oh my God. Okay. We need more pups. Yeah, we do. Like sleeping, injured, dying. It's raining outside. What a depressing time. Yes, West Sac Kings fan. We're still working on the segment. Can I be honest? Oh my God. No, if that didn't work, would you? Dates, nothing later this week. Yeah, nothing later this week. Nothing. I get to do a cool interview coming up, but there's no time in the schedule. Nothing this week. Let's see. Thanks for being there, everyone, and helping me out with this.
Did Deuce leave?
Yeah, he did. Why? Do you have something bad to say?
I just came back and he was gone.
No, he's gone. He left. Oh my God.
So Stockton tonight, right?
Yep.
Did they patch the ceiling?
if we go and it's not patched, someone will die. If I have to drive in this weather, oh my God. And then, oh my God. If like something happens, like our audio doesn't work, I'll flip a table. I'm kidding. It's really fun right now
We're
because
coming back. Oh, let's do it real quick before Deuce can intro.
yeah.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Dude, it is insane how windy it is right now. How many times have we said that? Is it winter still? I don't even know. Is it spring? When's spring? This is not spring. I'm so confused. We don't have seasons anymore. Sacramento is wild right now. So if you're driving around today, listening to us, appreciate you hanging with us. You can also watch us inside the comfort of your home at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Deuce Mason and Morgan Reagan. Yeah, it's weird outside, huh?
Yeah. I was talking about that during the break too. Just like trying to drive to Stockton in this later on is
Oh, it's so fun.
scary. Scary. But hey, that's extremes.
Yeah, on the way back from Stockton the other night when they canceled the game or postponed the game because of a leak in the roof, we must have seen at least 5 accidents or people pulled over because it was pouring. It was insane.
And really quick, I realize we have, because of the depressing times, we have complained a lot. And I think we need to say something like positive for every time that we do complain about. I know. And
Everyone's complaining about the weather.
okay.
It's okay. Oh, I'm glad to be alive. Yay.
I'm not sold that you are.
You know what I'm happy for? I'm happy for Christopher Laud because he brings us story time with Christopher Laud, baby!
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Christopher Laud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. Story time.
Oh, yes. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, Christopher Laud. Hey, Chris, before you get to your story, do you buy the theory that from Kings Reddit user 1 mile at a time 420 who asks, is the key to ending the California drought tied to the Kings ending their playoff drought? He put up a map from October 4th where California was in extreme drought, and as we stand in mid-March, it's going away through the state as the Kings inch closer to a playoff spot.
That might make the most sense out of any theory I've heard so far.
Trading
for good players, making a good draft pick. It's because the drought's over.
Boom. It all goes together. What do you have today on story time, Chris?
All right. So you were saying like, it's good to see, like, we should be thankful for what we have. So today, I think a lot of my stories will be like, you're thankful that you're not these people.
Oh, okay. I like this. I like this.
So let's see. Oh, how about Staten Island, New York? This is courtesy of the New York Post. A man was walking his dog on Staten Island last week, and his dog discovered a human hand. So
where?
This is in Staten Island, New York. So when that happens, you call the police and stuff like that. They have to do some research, find out where the hand came from. Like, hopefully it's not from a murder. So they found this hand, and they determined it was from a 63-year-old woman who died in 2011.
What? Wait, was it frozen?
No. So you'll hear what happened. The woman, who has not been publicly named, was buried in a wooden coffin in a Catholic cemetery, and it is believed that the hand was dislodged when the plot next to the woman was excavated for a new burial. So it somehow was picked up in the soil by like the arm truck thing. And they took the dirt and they just put it out in the tree line, and they found her hand. Hopefully it has been returned to her.
Could you imagine?
If your dog found a hand?
Yes, a hand. Oh my! I imagine BoJack or Carlin. They wouldn't let go of it. I don't want to touch it. I might just have to let them do it.
Eat a dead
the
person's hand?
Are you touching it? What are you doing? If you see a little dead hand, like
I had to call my friend over to get a bird that BoJack got in the backyard, and he just like thinks it's a little toy and started ripping it apart, and I couldn't do anything. So yeah, a human hand, I'd probably pass out.
I'm out on that. It's disgusting.
So, guys, could be worse, right?
Yeah.
I guess
okay.
it could be worse.
Yeah, okay.
All right. How about we go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida? This is from the AP. So, which would you rather live, Sacramento or Fort Lauderdale, Florida?
Look, Sacramento.
Okay, that's probably smart. Would you want to live in Florida at all?
No.
Okay, good thinking, because one of the reasons why it's probably a bad time to live in Florida is that it is being taken over by snakes. Specifically, Burmese
Being
pythons.
taken over by a lot more than snakes.
One big snake I
Yeah.
could think of. A couple of big snakes live there, huh?
Little scary times.
A new paper produced by the U.S. Geological Survey has explained how, in a matter of 20 years, a few snakes from the southern tip of the Everglades have come to envelop the southern third of Florida. Snakes gone through both Broward and Palm Beach counties and are moving up the state to Lake Okeechobee and moving towards Fort Myers. So they are taking over the state, literally. One of the reasons the population is exploding is because it's very hard to find the pythons. There's no natural predators, and the snakes lay a lot of eggs. Hunting challenges have been created to try and slow down the invasion. Last year, 231 snakes were killed in a 10-day hunting expedition, but it's still not enough. So they have plans now. To try and keep them back. A plan is to start putting collars on small prey to hopefully lead them to where the snakes are hiding. The reason they're just putting them on any animal is because they're like, well, eventually they're going to be eaten by a snake, because that's how many snakes that we have in Florida right now. There's also
so gross.
There's also talk about biocontrol tools to somehow make them sterile or making the population entirely male to stop the breeding of the pythons.
Oh, wait, they're pythons too?
Yeah, so these ones are the ones that grow up to like 20 feet, 200 pounds, and can eat a deer or like...
Yeah, Jake the Snake is not bringing those back out in like 1988.
What was he bringing out?
Yeah, boa constrictor, right?
And a cobra once.
Damien, right?
Damien.
Damien.
Oh my God, you guys
Yeah,
are
he
such
brought up
losers.
The thing is like, I am deathly afraid of snakes. And it's because Jake the Snake had a cobra that bit Macho Man, and I thought he was going to die.
Yeah, snakes are scary. I worked with a guy at Good Day Sacramento who this camera guy named Scott, who's awesome, and he's got a ton of snakes.
Yeah,
like he has a room
I worked
that's
with
full
him.
of
Yeah.
snakes. And we went to a reptile show, and he was like really challenging me to like, hey, they're not like, he's trying to like, they're not evil, and it's true. It's true. It's just like.
They're just animals.
Movies have made them seem like they're these evil things that are coming after you.
That's what Jaws did to sharks.
Yeah. Well, sharks, I mean,
They're not, but you should look at, there's an overhead thing of all the sharks along the Florida waters, and people are just swimming by them because like sharks aren't necessarily trying to go for humans, but I mean, if you're there, you're in their home, so get out of the water.
But snakes, when I was at that reptile show and I like touched a snake, they do feel kind of cool.
I was bit by a wild snake.
Okay.
Why is this funny?
What kind of snake?
It was a gardener snake.
That's not even, that's like, that's.
But I was bit.
That's more of like a worm than a snake, just to be clear.
It was a snake. Like it was big. Why?
Those are like baby snakes.
Okay.
Those don't count.
All right, I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
It's been an animal-heavy story time, so I'll let you pick. Do you want to go with an alligator or a monkey?
Let's go monkey.
Okay.
All right. Dixon, Oklahoma. This is courtesy of Fox 25.
This is going to be good.
If you live in Oklahoma, beware of monkeys. A pet monkey got loose, and that is when the owner's neighbor, Brittany Parker, who did not know that the neighbor next door owned a monkey, spotted it on her front porch. The monkey tried breaking into Parker's home, and she said she had to hold the door closed to prevent it from getting in. She called the police, and when they arrived, she went outside, and that's when the woman That's when the woman was attacked. It climbed up her back, grabbed her hair, and ripped off half of her ear.
Jesus! No!
The monkey then ran into the woods, and the woman was rushed to the hospital. She's okay now. She was able to talk. Everything is okay. She will need plastic surgery.
New ear. She needs a new ear.
Yes.
Did the monkey eat it? Like, did he walk away with it, or was it just left there?
Wait, was it a chimp?
It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like what brown monkey, like light brown monkey, long tail.
It's 6'4", 200.
So, it has a long tail. It didn't even have like the no tail.
I don't care how small. That's just creepy. They just jump around, get on you, rip your ear
Spider
off.
monkeys are cute, but like the fact that monkey waited until she came out.
I'm out. There's just no chance. I am not.
It ran into the woods. A family member spotted the monkey and shot and killed it.
Oh my
God, Chris! We didn't need that part of the story.
But you do need to know this. The police collected the body to make sure it test it for disease in laboratory. But this is what I just found out, which blew my mind. In Oklahoma, it is legal to own primates in your house, in your home.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It only excludes great apes, which you need written permission from the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation director to own a great ape in Oklahoma.
What is legal and not legal in some of these states is just absolutely mind-blowing what the hell they care about. Oh my God.
It's not funny. You laugh so you don't cry. You can own a
This world is so stupid.
But women, no.
You get no rights, monkeys? Yes, you do.
You can own them all.
Do anything you want. Rip an ear off, but we will shoot ya. I
am crying. Thanks so much to Chris for story time with Chris Verlod. Coming up next, we're going to get back to the NBA. We're going to talk some Kings too. One of the best basketball podcasts out there, No Dunks Inc. They do a great job on their YouTube channel, putting out content. What the OGs of basketball podcasting. Taz Melas joins us live. Coming up next, it's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com. Oh my God.
Great stories, Chris.
Someone on the YouTube said that I'm guessing the alligator story was much more chill. Yeah, very, way more chill.
Oh my God.
And that's what you picked, Deuce.
Yeah, but we've had some alligator stories.
We did. We just had one recently, and
we had a follow-up alligator too.
Yeah,
Godzilla in the Bronx Zoo.
We did. Chris, can you? I know it's like you don't have many windows to look out of, but do you see the weather outside?
I can kind of see. It doesn't look that bad.
Shout out to Ray who says, "I'm out here driving a giant work truck on tiny roads." The tiny roads of Fair Oaks in this BS weather. So fun. Dude, that is, yeah.
Be
a lot
safe.
Of trees over there, too. Careful.
Yeah. Is it going to stay this windy all day?
It's supposed to slow down. This is supposed to be the worst hour.
Okay.
I think.
We good.
Let's see. I can get you an update according to Deuce's Doppler.
Yeah, let's check that out.
We have a high wind warning in Sacramento. It's going to remain in effect till this evening. South winds 25 to 35 miles with gusts 50 to 60. Local gusts up to 70 expected as well, Morgan Reagan. Obviously, very dangerous outside right now as we have this atmospheric river coming through for, I don't know, the 800th time this year. Back to you.
Are anyone else's dogs like depressed because they can't be outside? They can't soak up the sun. I gotta think of something positive.
I think we all can use a little sun, and I think we have some sun come. Here's the good news.
Yeah.
You want Deuce Mason's extended forecast? Hey, I know it's ugly right now. Atmospheric river coming through, but don't worry. There's sun coming tomorrow. No rain expected. Some light winds, but 63 degrees, partly cloudy skies in Sacramento. And then Thursday, another dry day, mostly sunny on Thursday with a high of 64. The lows dip into the low 40s. We are expected to have some showers throughout the weekend, but enjoy the next couple of days with sun. Morgan, back to you.
Oh, thank God.
I should do weather, huh?
Yep.
You think you'd be a good weather person?
I think you'd have to practice a lot.
You would definitely be the pun weather person, wouldn't you?
Yes.
You guys just think so highly of me, don't you?
I mean, we compliment you all the time. Wait, what? Ellie? My dogs love it.
Eli.
2 pits, or I'm sorry, Eli. Ellie. Eli. My dogs love it. 2 pits and 1 lab. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Bojack's just like he doesn't hate it. He doesn't like water. But he really likes sun. The sun will come out tomorrow.
Want to put any money on that?
Well, Deuce's Doppler told me it's going to.
I set you up for bet your bottom dollar.
That funny. Someone just said, our Shibas go to the sliding door like they need to go out. We open the door, and when they realize it's raining, they look at me like I'm crazy for even opening the door. That's hilarious and very Sheebs.
Taz is good to go.
Oh, yes. Amazing. Amazing. Clip this interview.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports Headlines. Sacramento Kings' 3-game winning streak came to an end last night when the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Kings 133-124. For more on last night's game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown on SactownSports.com. Kings are traveling today. Their 4-game road trip starts today in Chicago against the Bulls tomorrow. You can listen to the game right here on Sactown Sports. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting right now that New York Giants are trading for Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders for a 3rd-round draft pick. For more information on the trade and all of your NFL offseason moves, check out SactownSports.com. Now more with Deuce and Mo with our guest, Taz Melas.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan. Kings getting ready for a big road trip coming up, and a fun game last night against the Milwaukee Bucks.
A lot of fun. They lost.
Kings
but
getting a lot of love lately.
oh, yeah. They got a lot of love headed into yesterday's game, too.
But No Dunk Sink's been giving the Kings some love for a while now. Super excited to have our next guest on. A guy that we've never actually talked to before, but I feel like I know because they're like the OGs of basketball podcasting. Taz Melas joining us live. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Taz?
I'm doing so good, guys. It's great to be on with you guys. I totally feel like I understand you guys too. You know, we're like buds who have never spoken a word to each other before. Totally.
Dude, it is weird because I mean I've seen your face for years, heard your voice for years, and and of course see you on social media all the time. So I'm so glad we have you on to talk some hoops. It's been a wild ride in Sacramento. I know you guys have been talking about it a lot. What's been kind of the biggest surprise to you about the Kings season?
Well, yes, and it has, I think, been the biggest surprise to me of everybody on our show because I've been the biggest hater, I think. I didn't expect this to happen before the other guys did. They were on board when Mike Brown took the reins and just believed, I guess, in the star power and the growth of De'Aaron Fox this year before the season even started. So I've been labeled some names on our show. I think some Kings fans come on over and, this is the time where Kings fans are shining. So they want to see some coverage. And when they don't, and when they get some bad coverage, I hear about it, which is good. I guess the biggest surprise is just how everything has come together so effortlessly. And like you guys, just briefly said, and I'm sure you've talked about it for the first 2 hours of your show because you guys are animals. That was an incredible game. The buzz that the Kings have every game now. That was such a good game. Like from a person who has no dog in the race whatsoever. That was just a fun basketball game and high level execution.
you guys consume so much basketball because obviously you cover the entire league. You're watching so many games before talking about it on your pod the next day. And I look at last night, and that's why even as Kings fans, like I would say Deuce and I like to be realistic for the most part. Like you said, going into the season, I was like, oh, they'll be in the play-in conversation, like not the playoffs. Like how could anything develop that quickly, right? And then you're seeing them against the Bucks in March in this competitive, beautiful basketball game. And I know at times it can seem surprising, but it's not a fluke. And that's been my favorite part about it. What have you seen that is making the Kings so good right now?
Yeah, we talk about this night in and night out, the league night in and night out for years and years and years. So coming into this season, I always try and fall back on actual research, like actual work we all do in this field. And so I went back and I was looking at the defensive rankings of this team and thought, ain't no way this team can be in the playoffs. It's not going to break from that pattern, no matter what Mike Brown does. And then I guess the biggest surprise is to have that really not matter all that much because they've been so incredible on the other end and how fluid it is and it going from 1 through 10. I mean, everything that Monte McNair touched turned to gold on that end. Like we're talking, even the rotation last night off the bench.
Kessler Edwards, he didn't have his best game last night, but even him in the other game. But Trey Lyles, how about
Trey Lyles? Yeah, I haven't, as a Canadian and as a fellow Canadian, I've never been a true believer in Trey Lyles, and he's gone through, a couple roller coaster, I guess you'd call it, of a career, and now he's found a home. Like, the locker room has to be absolutely incredible for guys like Trey Lyles and Terrence Davis, who also being a Raptor previously, they've just had some ups and downs. And I say it's got to be an incredible locker room for all these guys to absolutely fit like puzzle pieces to just jump right in. And you throw Kessler Edwards' name out there. I mean, it is wild. Like that was one as a national media member, that was one trade that just absolutely went under the radar. It was cool to see. It's cool to see the Kings adding for a need. I mean, they obviously need some wing defense, and that was a guy who was solid last year for the Nets and them trying to find themselves, and he was just sort of a surrounding part for Kevin Durant, but he barely played this season. And again, he comes to the Kings, defends Devin Booker pretty freaking well. He's again, it's got to be the locker room, Morgan, to sort of answer your question, but not answer your question all at the same time, but like to come all the way back around. I mean, they have, Mike Brown's just done it. I mean, it's kind of like we said before the season, it was hard to really peg this team as a playoff team, but there's always a surprise in the NBA, and it's always impossible as long as we've been talking about the game to really project who that surprise is going to be. And it's obviously the Kings this season.
Well, I know we were just talking about Trey Lyles. I was curious from last night's game, what did you make of the end of the game? Where like Giannis, who by the way, I don't feel like enough people are talking about the Giannis angle of this, and I'm not mad at this at all. It just, he veers right to dribble in front of Lyles. Lyles did not like it, fouls him, pushes him, and then Lopez and him get tangled up. What do you think of that whole thing?
I'm team Giannis on this one. He's allowed to dribble the basketball. I know. Like, I think we're
right. You're gonna make me start hating on Giannis now. He dribbled right into him for no reason. Giannis fools everyone. He's Mr. Nice Guy, but he does some weird things on the floor.
And by the way, we are Giannis lovers.
Oh, I love Giannis. And then you know what he did? Him and Lopez and Lyles are going at it. Giannis is in the background with his hands up.
I love that two people that cover the Kings are trying to convince Taz, who covers the entire
Giannis's
league.
Fault.
Yeah, absolutely no way you can put this on Giannis Antetokounmpo's shoulders. No chance. He's allowed to go towards the sideline. That's where I think he was going, because at the end he just wants to dribble out the clock. That's what players do. They don't dribble in the middle of the floor. Like, he could have just stood there. You're right. He could have just
dribbled it out.
High dribbled it. No one would have touched him. There would have been no no scuffle whatsoever. But that's what players do. They kind of go to, it's a weird thing. They kind of go past the midcourt line and they kind of go to the corner. And that's where I think he was going. I don't think he was trying to get under Trey Lyles' skin. I think Giannis isn't that type of dude. Is he fooling everybody? It's a great long con. I mean, he's been the nicest dude in the league for a decade. Now he's going at Trey Lyles. That's who he's picking his feud with Trey
We need
Lyles.
you guys to take this video, break it down on your show tomorrow, and break down. We have different camera views. We need to tag them in. And really, I think you guys might think differently of Giannis tomorrow.
I like it. I like it. We need it. I haven't seen, basically I saw the main camera.
Yeah.
And I was fine with it watching it. I was fine with Brooke coming over.
Yeah.
And I think Lyles was the instigator. Is that reasonable to say? I mean,
I'm sending him the video.
I think Lyles, Lyles got, he was worked up. It's whatever. I actually like the whole thing, to be honest. I like that stuff in the NBA. It's fun. No one got hurt from it. It's intense. It was, like we just said, it was such a great game. It was a physical game. We saw a lot of offense. Giannis was incredible. 46 points. No one could stop him on the Kings. It was just a really, really fun basketball game. And to top it off with a little chaos at the end, I loved it.
Is Giannis your MVP?
Ooh, baby.
It's tough.
I think it's not my Greek heritage speaking, but I think in the end, I am going to go with him. I reserve the right to, wait a month here. We got 4 weeks left.
Absolutely.
I do think the fact that Joel Embiid is coming on strong and Jokic is where Jokic is in Giannis's favor, because those two are going to take a lot of they're sort of going to be neck and neck, Embiid and Jokic, and they're going to be at the top. And I think a lot of people, when it comes to voting, are going to say, well, the default guy is we're just going to go with that guy. And Giannis being the default guy who is probably the best player of all of them and the player that everyone would pick in a series. So I think the fact that those other two have kind of projected themselves towards the top, it's going to help Giannis's. So I think that might factor into the way I look at it at the end, especially with the way they're going to take the number one seed and the best rank or the best record in the entire NBA. I think that's going to be theirs. So I think Giannis might take it. And so many things factor into it for sure. The voter fatigue and all that. But I think he will be my guy when it comes down to it, with the way he's carried his team without Chris Middleton for a huge chunk of the season, and them going to be the number one team, not only in the East, but in the NBA.
Yeah, he's just ridiculous. Just watching him last night, I'm just like, I've seen him play so many times, but you're just like, how do you stop this guy? And last night he's hitting threes in the mid-range, what he does defensively, getting to the basket, I just appreciate watching a player like him, because he's one of the greats of all time. And sometimes we get jaded watching games all the time, and you have to appreciate the moment, because what we're witnessing with him is just beyond special.
And of course, what we're witnessing with him is amazing, and some of these other players in this league that are that top tier. But being in Sacramento right now, Taz, I feel like the other guy that what we're witnessing is just something we haven't really experienced before, and that's Domas Sabonis. What you're talking trip dubs all the time. You look at his double numbers, but what he's been able to do in this first season, technically last year wasn't a full season, first full season, to completely help and change the identity of the squad with Mike Brown, with De'Aaron Fox. And we haven't seen anything like this before from a leader that shines, mentally and shines as a teammate in so many different levels. What are you seeing from Domas this season?
Yeah, another huge surprise. Just after the trade, didn't see the ability to, number one, play hurt like he's been playing with the thumb injury, and just to exactly right, lead an offense, be the hub, be fine with not as many shot opportunities, I'm sure, as he could have, the word is leadership, and those are the things you can't really predict in the NBA, guys' growth, and both him and Fox doing it in the same season is why the Kings are in that 2 seed, because they're both so comfortable in their roles. They're both excelling in their roles. They're both they're dominating. I felt bad for him last night because Giannis was he had the footwork going, and there was nobody in the world, regardless of size, strength, that could stop it. I mean, that guy's just, the footwork is too much. But Domas showed his skills going to the right. Everybody expected him to go to the middle there and then go to the right hand. He was, he's a special dude, and this is, team number 3 for him. And I think in Indiana, like you were just saying, Deuce, about Giannis and people not appreciating him, or just the fact that it kind of goes numb watching all these amazing players play the way they do. I think that sort of happened to Domas Sabonis and his skill set in Indiana a little bit. We just kind of were sort of, I think, as national media members and fans, just watching that situation, and we're kind of over it. It felt like that iteration of the team was done, and you kind of just forget about his skill set or forget about how good he was. But he's, especially as the son of an incredible player, to be able to thrive. Another thing that's really, really difficult. Like, he came in with OKC and looked skilled, but by no means did anyone think he was going to grow to this level of talent. And he had the talent in Indiana, and now it's just adding all grown up, as Mark Jackson would say, to be like a real pros pro out there. And again, playing through injury, without him doing that these last several weeks, who knows where the Kings season is.
So right now the Kings are the number 3 seed. I mean, I know they haven't clinched a playoff spot. I feel like we're in Sacramento.
I said 2 seed because
they dropped down to 3.
No,
it happened. I mean, they might be the 2 seed soon. I mean, Memphis, they're gonna have to play without Ja. Either way, I imagine they're gonna be top 6. I'd be crazy if they fell apart. So let's just put them in the top 6. Do you think that they could win a series or two? Because now it feels like some of the national media is like hopping on strong, where they weren't really talking about them all at all. And then like Zach Lowe started last week saying, I could see conference finals. Perkins saying it yesterday. Russillo and Simmons saying, could they come out of the West? It seems like it's going the other way now. Where do you weigh in on maybe the Kings? Can they win a series or two, depending on the matchup?
Let's ride it. I'm on board as well. They have the great draw. We just talked about Memphis. If they get to that second round, that's who they would likely play if the Grizzlies do get through. And there's not a better matchup in the second round than that, just because of the lack of experience on that side. Because you look up and down in the Western Conference, it's better than facing, a Nuggets, a Suns, a Warriors, a Clippers, I would say. So the draw is there. And like you said earlier, Morgan, it's obviously not a fluke. And this is a tough place to play. So in that first round, sure, they're going to be the favorite. And I'm sure they want to get to that 2 seed to play a play-in team rather than those bunch of other teams that I mentioned that they would face in a 3-6, like a Clippers or a Warriors. I think they'd rather, get one of those teams that are scurrying down there right now, whether it's the Wolves or the Mavs or somebody like that in round 1 and round 2. Yeah, they've got a good bracket. So sure, conference finals. That's crazy. It's possible. It's possible.
Weird it's weird to say it, and it is. The West is just bizarre. I mean, I think the talent level in this league in general is just absurd. I mean, every night you turn on a game and go, yeah, this guy's really, really good.
Yep.
This guy's awesome. This team has talent. And even in the West, you're going, who is the favorite? I mean, I feel like I've changed my mind 800 times. There's a stretch I was feeling Denver a little bit, but I mean, every team has questions at this point.
I think when we look at some of these guys, Taz, and go like, oh, who's going to slow down that guy on the team? Who's going to slow down that guy? And then with the Kings, you finally get to say with De'Aaron Fox, who is Mr. Clutch in fourth quarters right now, who's going to slow him down or not allow him to shoot from where he wants to shoot? Well, you saw against the number 1 defense last night that it can alter things, but not every team is at
still
that
at 35.
level. Yeah, I mean, and not every team is at that level. We know that JE was and always has been that De'Aaron Fox truther. What about you, Taz? How have you felt about De'Aaron Fox over the years and leading into this season?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I haven't been. I just didn't know if it was it was going to come. I was there on board, ready to watch it happen. But this is, a different different beast. He can get what he wants, and he's comfortable on every spot of the floor. And I look down at those teams that he would face, and like you said, yeah, it was different against a humongous front court yesterday, but still, he knows where to hit the spots that he can get to in the postseason. The mid range will be open. That's just the way basketball goes in the postseason. They're going to take away some Kings threes, but he has the ability to pull up and is so comfortable there. And if you take that away from him in the mid range, then he's going to get to the rim. So if they're facing a team like the Mavs, who have closers of their own, he's going to rip them apart. They're a bad team at the rim defensively, and so I think he would get there if he wanted to. And they're a bad team on the perimeter, so I think that would be, even though on the other side there's two killers there in Kyrie and Luka, that would be a really good matchup for the Kings, because they would just tear them apart defensively, and I don't think there's any stopping Fox and a Fox-led offense and the entire Kings offense. So that's any one of those teams, really. I know that the Wolves would probably be a decent matchup, but Fox is just so confident in that mid range. That's where the guys who go from good to exceptional in the playoffs operate, and he can do that right now. Right? Like in any quarter, in any moment. I know it's game 85, 86, 87. It may be different than game 60 and 65, but it ain't a fluke. I definitely doubted him the last few years, but the doubts are gone. So why can't he do it in the postseason?
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm just so glad we're getting postseason basketball in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And there's some younger NBA fans that obviously don't know what that means, right? Like it's been 16 years since they made the playoffs, and there's just something special about the crowd. I think people are starting to see it with the crowds in Sacramento. It's like, dude, this place is a tough place to play. The crowds get into it. The Beams brought people together. I just feel like it's going to be such an incredible atmosphere.
I want to, maybe because we've always been sort of internet buddies, but I kind of want to get in the same boat with you guys and say that the Raps had this going on when I was a fan a long time ago, when they had like a 12-year drought of not winning a playoff series. I know it's a little different. They did get there for a couple years in the middle and do nothing really, and just throw the ball to Richard Jefferson way back when, and some weird stuff happened, but it felt like a really, really long hiatus of good basketball in Toronto, even though Chris Bosh led him to a couple playoffs. And so I'm with you. Like I said on the show a couple of weeks ago, we were watching some ugly Toronto-Chicago basketball on a Monday night. The offense was not clicking, and I had a flashback of the early 2000s when League Pass didn't exist, and I was watching ugly Toronto Raptors basketball. We flipped the channel to the Kings OKC game, and the offense was beautiful. It was just like when I got League Pass for the first time. There's basketball outside of Toronto basketball that's actually fluid, and guys can, like, all five guys can score, and it's not just dribble type stuff. So I'm with you guys. I'm sure people have not experienced playoff basketball in Sacramento, and I hope it doesn't last just 5 or 6 games for you guys. I hope you get a second round to really experience the highs and the lows, the drama, and the pain that comes with some losses.
I know, it's like buckle the hell up because it's real.
Oh, it's tiring.
Yeah,
it's so
tiring.
The emotional part of it.
Well, Taz, dude, thank you so much for joining us.
Seriously,
man. Keep up the great work. We love what you guys do.
Back at you guys.
It's so cool to see the growth of No Dunks. You guys are killing it. So definitely keep it up.
And just really quick too, I mean, you guys truly inspired us so many years ago into the podcasting world and talking NBA and just your fun, loose style. And we appreciate you guys always giving the love that you do on your show.
Yes,
I mean, it's it's so mind blowing. I think about me 10 years ago, if I had known that you guys would even know who the hell I am, I would freak out. So just thank you so much. Well,
we obviously we know what hard work is, and we see you guys from afar, and you guys make us work a heck of a lot harder, even and because you guys are putting in the work here in hour number 3 of show number however many. Here, I've got a child with me. Come here.
Oh,
Come here.
get on.
Yeah, I didn't have children when I started doing this show. She's just interrupting, but she doesn't want to join.
How old is she?
Come on over. Come here. Come here.
She's asking.
Come here. What?
Can you stay with Noah?
Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate it, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry, I couldn't bring on my co-host there.
It's all right.
okay.
Next time. Next time.
Anyways, you guys keep up the good work.
Thanks, Taz.
Appreciate it, man. We'll
We
catch up with you
appreciate
soon.
All right, guys.
Taz, man, that's so cool to catch up with him.
I know.
Love it.
I know. No, I die that we've been able to talk to these guys.
It's also
so.
cool that other people around are like appreciating the King's story this year. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
I dig it. Dig it so much. All right. We got much more coming up. It's Deuce and Mo. We always stay live at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. And of course at SactownSports.com. What's up, YouTube chats? DX says it'd be nice to see a small market team win it all. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Be right back. Bye. Don't worry, guys. I sent Taz the other angle on Giannis cutting off Trey Lyles. They need to do it with like conspiracy music. It's conspiracy theory music underneath and break it down tomorrow. Love no dunks. Love. That's funny. B. Perry says, I'm still fuming over the tussle last night. I want to back up Trey. Yeah, I said this on our podcast last night, but I was sitting up at the NBC desk with Matt Barnes. I see him take out his IFB like he's about to walk down the stairs and get on the floor. And I didn't know if he was being serious. And then after, I think we were even on the show, on the postgame show, and I asked him about it. I'm like, were you like really? Or maybe it was off air. And I was like, were you really? And he was like, yeah, it's just instinctual to be loyal, back your guys up. He's like, I've just done it for so long, and these are my guys. And he knows Trey Lyles has worked out with them all summer long and stuff. But I mean, whether that was the point or not is just hilarious how some basketball players, competitors, are just wired. We all wanted to be down there and back up our guy. We're all Trey Bays at the end of the day. Am I right?
How can you not like Trey after that?
How can you not like Trey after that? He's like sweet on the outside, and he'll get you if he needs to. On the inside, I don't know what that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
No, not
Okay. Okay, people. Yeah, definitely so excited to hear about Dame's podcasts with JJ Redick. Were we on yesterday? Oh yeah, we were on yesterday. Okay, I already forgot.
Yeah, the stuff with Dame is pretty interesting because it's more of it's like, why do I have to win a championship? Why do I have to go someplace? Why can't I just be happy with where I'm at and what I'm doing?
I love that.
He just understands life.
No, we've gotten to such a, and we can even say this, but this whole ring culture thing has gotten to a point that's just ridiculous, right? Like, obviously, the goal, you want to win a championship.
Yeah.
But, like, this Kings season has been really fun. You know, if they fall short, no one's going to, yeah, but they didn't win a championship. If that's what we're doing now, you're not appreciating the ride, you're not appreciating the journey that you're on, then I don't know why you're even doing this.
Look how we look at Charles Barkley today and talk about his game today. And if you want to be that person, but he didn't win a ring, I mean, it's a team sport too, you know? And it's like, oh, but if they're that good to win a ring, they can carry the whole team. I mean, the game has also evolved, and and it's really hard. No, it's totally a fair point.
And there will be people, if Dame decides to leave and he wins a ring with somebody else, like, oh yeah, but you have to go someplace else to get it.
Right. Don't be pleasing people. Like, do what makes you happy. Yeah. Yeah. I think I know this is like a funny reference, but like, I think even in our business, people always say to us like, oh man, you're going to be on ESPN. And it's like, well, why would ESPN make me happy? You know, like I want to be in Sacramento. Like I want to be covering a team like homegrown and like be here. this place makes me
How about this? Since 1996, 9 teams have won a championship.
There you go.
The Bulls, the Spurs, the Lake. Okay, 10. The Pistons in there too. So it's hard. It's hard. The Spurs had that run. The Lakers have a run. The Mavs got one in there. Miami got a couple in there. Golden State, Milwaukee, Toronto. But like it's hard to win a championship. And just acting as if you don't win a ring, you're a bum. You're not a good player. You failed. It's just ridiculous.
I agree. I agree with that statement. What am I gonna wear tonight?
ESPN Plus game.
Ugh.
Stockton Kings taking on the
5 seconds.
Westchester Knicks. Stand by for Chris's updates.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings' 3-game winning streak came to an end last night when the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Kings 133-124. For more on last night's game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cartoscelli's breakdown on SactownSports.com. Kings are traveling today. They start their 4-game road trip tomorrow in Chicago against the Bulls. You can listen to tomorrow's Kings-Bulls game right here on Sactown Sports. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting right now that the New York Giants are trading for Darren Waller of the Las Vegas Raiders for a 3rd-round draft pick. For more information on the trade and all of your NFL offseason moves, check out SactownSports.com. It is 1:29. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. And now more with Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Just Mason Morgan, Reagan, the Kings hit the road, taking on the Bulls coming up tomorrow night. Then they got the Nets the next night. Woo.
Yeah.
Only 15 games to go in the regular season.
Wild. Usually we're planning vacations by now. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, a weekend trip or something. But now you got to start looking deep into the summer, huh?
Way deep,
Deep
into the summer.
summer.
The one thing that happened today, JJ Redick just put out a new podcast with Dame Lillard. I haven't listened to it yet because breaking news, we've been doing a show for the last 3 hours. But one thing that's been brought up is kind of like Dame saying he's not really enjoying what the NBA has become. And I don't know so much as I think he's a little off on this, though.
Okay.
I think the point he's making is that it's just this ring culture, and if you don't win, if you're not trying to go out and win a championship every year, you're a bum, pretty much. I think sometimes we just, and I'm guilty of it. I think NBA players are. Everybody is. You get caught up on what people say on social media, what the trolls are saying, and feeding into that. When I think most rational NBA fans go, Dame is one of the premier talents of the game. He's had a hell of a career. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to be like, dude, Dame, he never won. He sucks. It's like, yeah, some people may say that, but that's not the overwhelming
Casuals.
majority. Those are casual people. Those are trolls.
Yeah. I think too, one, as a society, we care too much about what others think. That's number one. Number two, it's pretty exhausting when you think about what these players and athletes have done in these leagues to become the best of the best, right? The work, the grind, the mentality, everything that goes into it to be that top tier player in a league like this. Not everybody's going to get to win. That's just not how it's going to work. And you can still be one of the best players. And I think people lose sight of that when they just even go like, that person sucks down on the bench, or like even Matthew Dellavedova. Obviously, I'm not comparing him and Dame Lillard.
They're close. I admit that makes sense. They're close.
My point is like what he's done to find a role in the NBA is so much more than so many other people could ever do out there that are trying to make it into the NBA or trying to make it into a professional league. So again, it's just really having a different outlook, a different perspective on what these guys have done and accomplished.
It is. I mean, a championship can change people's reputations too. Like Giannis before winning a championship. I mean, I was like, man, is he ever going to be able to get it done? He's so great, but what happens in the playoffs? And then, of course, he on one leg, he takes care of the Phoenix Suns. And yeah, I think we just need to do a better job with our conversations about the sport. The Kings are not, in all likelihood, not going to win a championship this year.
No.
I, by the way, love to be wrong. That'd be awesome if I was wrong. It doesn't mean I'm going to look back and be like, well, they failed this year. This whole like championship or bust mentality when it comes to sports is hilarious because it's hard to win a championship. And just because you don't win one doesn't mean you're not a good player. It doesn't mean you're not a stud. I just think there are so many players around the league that you look, oh, he's been a great player. Hasn't won one. I think we obsess about this stuff a little too much instead of just appreciating the skill level of some of these players.
Why does that award have to be the validation of what your career is? Why can't it be the path that you chose, the journey along the way? And I think like, yeah, that sounds really deep when I say it out loud, but it's the truth with anything in life. And I think I think it was like during a lot of busy times, my dad was saying that to me. It's like, hey, really enjoy this journey. I mean, you think about years ago when like I would do anything to be like, wow, I want to be on that show one day on NBC. And when you're there, you can't lose that perspective, or that you're covering your childhood team and you're there at a game for free, working, watching. Like you can't lose the perspective of the journey that is taking you to the next levels in your career. Like appreciate every single step of the way and appreciate all these players, no matter where they land in their journey.
Appreciate this Kings season.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Loved yesterday getting a little mix up with Lyles and Lopez. Still no word on suspensions, and I don't think maybe Lyles gets one. The Suns do play tonight, by the way. The Suns are, the Bucks play tonight. They play the Suns in Phoenix on the second half of back-to-back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I need them to win.
The Bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go.
Win.
Last night, no, we hate you, Bucks. Tonight, I'm going, yeah, let's go, Brooke.
Punch someone in the face, Brooke Lopez.
No. We don't want him to get ejected.
Oh, yeah,
we need him
never
on the
mind.
floor. Bait DeAndre Ayton into something.
There we go.
Yeah. The Kings are in a nice spot right now. They really are in still a good spot. I'm eager to see how they play on this road trip, though.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think when you look at this road trip, Deuce, it's just another test. It's a late in the season. They have played so many games this season at such a high level, and you see that growth every single game, every single week, whatever the stretch is. And so this is that other one where it's like, okay, before the postseason, what do you want to look like? And you still got to clinch a playoff spot.
a couple of NFL stuff that we learned today. Darren Waller got traded by the Raiders today for a third-round pick to the Giants. What? That was a little surprising today. And then yesterday, after the show, we found out that the Niners signed Sam Darnold. What do you think about him maybe as a little backup, third-string quarterback for the Niners?
I think you said in the beginning of the show, it could be worse. It could be worse. And what Sam Darnold was doing, it's not like he's just trash, right? And I think when you look at the quarterback situation with the Niners, sure, you would rather have them find a way to go after Lamar Jackson, and then you go into but all the cap conversation, especially when they're signing guys, they're going to need to put forth more money toward other guys that are already on the squad, restructure some contracts like we were talking about with Emil yesterday. So Sam Darnold situation, I'm fine with it. But at the same time, if you're the quarterback or if you're the Niners and you're trying to go all in, what's that?
I think the hope is, here's what they're hoping. Best case scenario, Brock Purdy is ready to go a little after week 1. They get him back in the fold. Let's go. And the other best case would be that Trey Lance has an awesome camp and he's ready to go and he just has the job. I think if you get into a situation where you are having a quarterback battle between Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, that means things are not going well for Trey Lance. And Sam is still 25 years old. This is going to be his third NFL stop now. Shanahan has liked him. The Niners have liked him. He knows Christian McCaffrey from playing with the Panthers the last couple of years. And then, of course, Steve Wilks, the interim coach, who's now on the Niners staff as defensive coordinator, is familiar with him too. I'm fine with it. It's not a bad in case of emergency guy to use out there, but if he ends up having to be your starter week 1, I'm not very comfortable with that.
You have so many weapons on your offense too with the Niners that at least maybe if you just can depend on him to take care of the football and throw it downfield when necessary, because it's not like they had that with Jimmy Garoppolo. They just had someone who could take care of the basketball, take care of the football. And you want to be able to create more because your defense is going to get stops, but what are you going to produce on your offensive end? You need some high-level quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah. Niners are going to be, they're fine. It's every year we question the quarterback, and it's like, yeah, but their defense is so legit, and their defense just got better. So the quarterback will put them over the top, I think, obviously, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's not good to have a question mark at quarterback. And do you think Purdy's still a question mark because of the injury?
I think the injury is the only thing that makes the question mark, because before the injury, you guys, we had Matt Mayoco on and we were talking to him about like, wow, is this the future of the Niners? And he's like, yeah, basically. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Everyone's high on Brock Purdy, and Trey Lance still trying to get healthy. Like, of course you're going to go with what was working, and then the injury happened. So you never know how someone's going to perform after an injury. How many quarterbacks have had surgery like he has on their throwing arm? Exactly. I don't know that statistic, so I don't know what that would be like, but hell, I would be scared to be doing any like that motion again and someone coming after my arm. I don't know where my brain would go. You saw Jimmy Garoppolo, even every time that he would try to step back, he would never put that heel down. He never was just fundamental about the way that he would start passing again and really use his base. And it's just like, okay, his game was altered after that injury.
Oh, we got to take the break. We'll be back on the radio side in just a few minutes, but we're always live on our YouTube page. Come chat with us, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com. What
was that snarl?
My Will Hobbs snarl.
That's what I thought it was.
My Will Hobbs. All-Star says a healthy quarterback will put them over the top. Also, in the chat, we are overvaluing all awards, rings, MVPs. Was I entertained? That is the question. Yeah, that's true. That's all. It's the end of the. Yeah, that's the name of the game. Entertainment too.
Are you entertained? Oh.
Who's Jenna Ortega?
Wednesday.
Wow.
She's
personal
like
shot at Christopher Lawn.
She's she's like the it girl right now. And Devin Booker is.
But
she's in Wednesday, X, Scream 5, Scream 6.
Hey, Devin
hosted
Booker
SNL.
Was seen leaving dinner with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Just when I think I can't like the man anymore.
She can do better.
Probably.
Even though I don't know.
He's going to have to win a ring before.
Oh.
Sounds like we were doing a little DMZ.
Are Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner married?
Sean says in the chat, my Raiders need Google Maps because they are lost.
Ew.
Yeah, I think they're using the Apple Maps. Who does anyone use Apple Maps if they have an iPhone?
No.
I'm a Google Maps guy.
You gotta go Google Maps.
Yeah.
Gotta go Google.
I'm a MapQuest guy.
Oh.
You print them up?
I print it out.
I'm what's the old one where you like open up the book? Your like grandparents would have them.
Rand McNally. No, it's called something else.
It was like, hey, it's like they had letters at the top, A16.
Yeah.
The old map books. What are they called?
My dad was a truck driver, so this is probably bad that I don't know it.
Someone said Atlas. No.
No. Was that? Oh, the Road Atlas. Is that what
Road
it's called?
Atlas, that's it.
Road Atlas, dude. They still make them. What is wrong? If you still do that, you're weird.
No, people do that like when they're on the like camping.
Thomas Guide. That's the one I remember. Thomas Guide.
God, I used to always print off the map quest.
Series of paper. Wow, dude.
Isn't
Rand McNally. Okay, yeah.
Could you read a map if you were in a car and you had nothing else?
I mean, I'd have to really focus. There's nothing worse than someone who's like, yeah, just go north up Fair Oaks.
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm sorry, what? North?
Can you just tell me what is that way?
I may
Can you
be a
point
dumb
north
human.
right now, Deuce?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, no.
Point towards Natomas.
I don't know.
Wait. I know maybe downtown is that way.
It's that,
It's
but
that
it
way.
feels like it's this way.
Yeah,
it
it does.
feels like it's this way, but it's that
It's
way.
that way.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. No, I
We
don't.
don't need to know north, south, west, east.
You should. You should.
What
Why?
if your phone dies?
What if your phone dies and you're lost in the woods?
Go left here, go right here, go straight, left, right. That's it. I don't need to go, hey, go south.
You know what?
My
you know
cousin in St. Louis got lost in a park in St. Louis, and they had to get they had to get a
See?
helicopter out to find him.
No. See?
And
And
he
if
was
they-
in the middle of the city. All you had to do was walk straight.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Wait, in the middle of a city?
It's in St. Louis.
Like
it wasn't like in the wilderness.
No, it was like a
Okay.
park. It'd be like
How-
Getty Park. Oh, here we go.
It's Deuce and Mo.
On Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan coming up at 2 o'clock. Cattles and Rami. So Cattles is blaming Trey Lyles for this, right? And why does everyone think it was Trey Lyles instigating it?
Well, even
We can't-
Taz.
Taz, why are people going at Trey Lyles? Like, I'm not even defending what he did. Giannis started the whole thing.
I don't think I honestly don't think that's saying so much. You guys, Trey Lyles wouldn't just do that for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's Trey Lyles. Now, if it was someone who like pops off a lot, or let's even say it was Malik Monk, you know, he has a big personality. We've seen him get into it with someone before. That wasn't his fault. But if that happened with him, I might question it. Trey Lyles, he's like a little teddy bear.
Yeah, the way he explained it too was just so calm too, right? Like he was just like, yeah, I mean, he just kind of messed with me, and I'm not gonna do that.
I think Fox did it pretty well. You know, could have been avoided if he just dribbled it out. If you watch it, I was just walking back, my head down. He crossed in front of me, reached from behind, kind of clamped down on my arm, so I pushed to get my arm off. He sold it a little bit. It was nothing personal, but you know, a bigger guy walks down on me. I'm not really one for talking. I think you know, I've showed it a lot. You know, it takes a lot for me to get out of character, and yeah, just not gonna go for that. So.
I'm Team Lyles in this.
Oh, I'm literally
And Team
messaging
Lopez.
Taz saying this guy is a saint,
Yes,
and I'm sending that audio.
he is a saint, and Giannis. Hey, got my eyes on you, Giannis.
Yeah.
As a tier 1 Trey Bay myself,
Uh-huh.
I am a little bit disappointed in Trey
Okay, how come?
because, like we said before, he's Canadian. He should have went full hockey fight and taken Lopez's shirt over his head and then mushed his face.
God,
That's a good
mushed his
point.
face. That's aggressive. But yes, that is what he should have done.
Here's Mike Brown's big takeaway on it.
100%. You know, I don't know what happened, but so we ain't taking no from nobody. Trust me on that. And they all gonna have each other's back in there. That don't mean we gonna go out there and start something. We're not. But we gonna stand up for ourselves and each other.
I just think about if you were in that position, Morgan, and someone did that where you just lost, you're kind of hot, veers over and dribbles like right next to you after you've been dealing with him all day.
You know what I
You're
would've
probably doing the same thing.
Oh.
I think a lot of people do what Trey Lyles did last night.
You guys, I mean, one, you're a competitor and you're upset that you're losing, and you're losing because of the guy that's veering in front of you and trying to just rub it in your face with one extra thing. He wasn't going to the sideline. He was trying to troll him a little bit, and probably because it's Trey Lyles. It's not like, what, is he going to do that to De'Aaron? Is he going to do that to a player he respects? I don't know. Maybe he was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Either way, He wasn't taking anything, and I loved that Mike Brown backed him up.
With
And
all
in
that
the
said-
words of Lil Jon, don't start no stuff, won't be no stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, Lil Jon created that.
Did he?
I don't know. I didn't know that. Chris dropping Lil Jon knowledge on us.
Yeah.
With all that said, Giannis is at this point, if you're like, hey, you have to MVP now or you're going to die.
Oh,
I'd go with Giannis.
yeah. I got aggressive, but yes, I guess I would as well. And I think, I mean, you see what his team is doing, and yes, they are stacked. And I think that's when people have that knock on him, he's still scoring 46 points last night. 32 of those points were in the paint. I mean, the amount, the efficiency in the restricted area for him, the fact that the ability to drive downhill every single time that they want, get into the paint every single time that they actually want, it's just, it's incredible. And when you're that unstoppable, yes, you are the most valuable player out there.
He's averaging 31 points, 12 rebounds, 5.5 assists on 54% shooting. I mean, we've seen him have a couple of 50-point games this year, multiple 40-point games. And as Taz mentioned to us, like, Chris Middleton's been hurt. It's not like they've been healthy all the time. And here they are with the best record in the NBA.
Does that make you at all? And this might be weird of a question, but does that make you feel bad a little bit for Joel Embiid? Just because he's like so close so many times, and then there's been health, and then there's other things, obviously other players just playing a little bit better than him. And he's just always right there on the verge, but can't get it. And I just don't want voters to have that voter fatigue and be like, nah, he's got to get it this time.
I mean, he's gonna have a chance. I mean, he's been the runner-up the last 2 years behind Jokic. I don't know. I mean, it's tough because he's had a great year, and we start getting the MVP conversation. And sometimes this is where we start going with narratives and conversation. We start trying to tear down guys to prove our case. I'm like, no, Embiid's been awesome. He's had great stretches. Personally, I think there are times where he gets a little frustrating for me to watch.
Yeah.
But the same with Jokic, man. Jokic recently, I've been disappointed with him. I mean, for all the love he gets for being a great guy, playing hard and all that, there's been some times lately where you're going, is he playing that? Is he even trying defensively? Where I think last year through stretches, you're like, dude, he is engaged and ready to go. I haven't felt the same way about him this year watching him. So, with all that said, those three guys are studs. They put up monster numbers. Their teams are winning. They should absolutely all be in the conversation.
And it's crazy when you think about all the other great players in this league, and someone like Steph Curry, who just turned 35 years old, isn't in that conversation, right? I mean, for obvious reasons. I'm more just saying his name being in the league and still playing at such a high level. And finally, it's like, Steph Curry's not in the conversation. But again, what that guy is doing at 35 years old, he's one of those other players that I'm just always amazed by.
That was actually going to be one of my questions I had for you. Happy 35th birthday to Steph Curry.
Yeah.
How long do you think he plays?
Okay.
And do you think he'll be a Warrior for life?
I think he'll be a Warrior for life.
For life.
For life, which I think is really cool.
You don't think he'll go to Charlotte?
No.
Okay.
Oh, but that would be sweet little ending.
No, I like the guy. I do like the stories of guys sticking with one team.
Same.
It just never feels right when they leave, especially a guy that's been there forever. Like you think about Kobe or Tim Duncan. Imagine if Tim was like, yeah, I'm going to go spend the last year of my career in Miami.
Right.
Like that.
No. And for players to that caliber of player, you want to see it. You want to see Dame in Portland. You want to see these guys have that one jersey. And totally understand if they have reasons and money and whatever to not make that happen. But with Steph Curry, hope he's a Warrior forever. And I think he'll play until he's at least I want to say 40, but
I think he could play till 40. I mean, if health is on his side, the guy's the best conditioned athlete maybe in the NBA. He can shoot. He's got skill. He could pass. That ages well. It's not like his game is built on some elite athleticism where he has to explode and dunk the ball.
And we're just not talking about him as much because his team isn't as great, but still they're finding their way to battle through the Western Conference to still make people a little scared.
In the chat, Enforcer says Kobe did demand a trade after Shaq left, though. No, for sure. I'm not acting like Kobe's tenure with the Lakers was not dramatic. I mean, at one point he almost got traded to the Bulls. Like that was very close to happening. But I just you think about even in the NFL when Jerry Rice ended his career like playing with the Broncos and the Seahawks. It's like he's a Niner. I mean, the Raiders in between that too. But I don't know. It's just always like Shaq ended with the Celtics. What?
Yeah.
Shaq also bounced around more. I just do like the stories of they stayed with one team the entire time.
No, it's understandable why as sports fans we do appreciate that. But I think when you do go to the you humanize the situation, that's when you go, okay, like I get it. You just want everything to go in that direction.
Well, coming up next, we got Cattles and Rami. Of course, they'll have the very latest on NFL free agency. Still a busy day. Aaron Rodgers, it sounds like maybe leaning toward the Jets. The Jets adding players that maybe he would want to play with him. Darren Waller got traded. The Niners had Sam Darnold. And, of course, they'll talk about Kings and Bucks. We love you guys so much. But we got to go.
Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. See ya!